What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Tell me why you're shameless.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR, the show. And guys, with me today for Thursday Night Chaser, we got MsAmandaJayne.
Hi, y'all. Did you miss us?
I know we've been gone for a while. Last night, me and Bishop reunited.
Oh, yeah. I wish I knew, because I would have come in with some Delaware jokes.
Yeah, they're real small jokes.
But
But yeah, we've been gone for a while. I was gone for a week, so we missed a whole beat of stuff. I got caught up with everything today. I'll be honest, as I was catching up on stuff, I didn't... If it wasn't for the fact that we really like to go through and break it all down, I don't feel like these last 2 weeks of TV for NXT and AEW were, like, unmissable. There was good stuff on both. It was cool, but nothing was all like, oh my god, did you see this?
nope,
So,
not at all.
And to be honest, NXT looked like I watched them both back to back, and it could have all been one show. Like there wasn't a ton on there that was like all that different from the previous thing. They changed the coloring up a little bit on the latest one, which is pretty cool. I do like some of the new stuff. We'll talk about that when we get there. How you been?
Not too bad. I kind of agree with you. There's a lot of stuff that was very missed, not a lot of hits. Highlights, not low lights, a lot of drama.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drama. I think it's gonna be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of what's in your glass.
Well, what's in my glass is right now I'm starting off just with regular Coke, and I have iced tea, but I am going to switch to a sponsored, not sponsored slushy with my Zoku cup, because I can do that. It might have alcohol. I don't know. We shall see.
Time will tell. So
Time will tell.
I found these sponsored, not sponsors.
Oh, yes.
Zero sugar, cherry limeade, and ocean water. Remember I told you when they have the seltzers, my biggest problem was they didn't taste strong enough like And they weren't colored.
Yeah, they weren't colored. I remember that, and the taste, I kind of remember that, but
Yeah.
not.
These ones taste just like what you get at Sonic. It is awesome, and they're brightly colored. Like you can even see my my straws turning blue already. I'm using the ocean water. What I do,
Wow.
I like to make an ocean water cocktail because it's just a powder and it adds to water, right? So what I do is I add Sprite to it, 0 sugar. Use the ocean water, then use regular water to like make it a little more robust, and then I use like 2 shots of vodka.
Nice.
The vodka I was using in Vegas, because I did this a lot in Vegas.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
I was mixing myself drinks and then walking up and down the strip with my own drink that I made just to save money, and it worked.
You don't do the trick I do, like where you take $1 and maybe put it in a slot machine and wait, look like you're playing, and well, you do put it in when the cocktail waitress is around, and then you maybe play it a couple things. Oh, can I have this? Right? And then don't play, and then until she comes back, and then when you kind of hear her coming around, start playing again, and then oh yeah, here's the fuck. There you go.
I used to do that a lot, but this time I was all like, hey, it's just me. I'm wandering around, like I got a big old cup myself.
Hey, I wander around. I know, but
it was great. I didn't have to tip anybody.
No.
It was awesome, and I was having cigars up and down the road.
Yeah, you might win, but you might win $5 here and there.
That's a good point. You win a couple, get your money back.
Get your money back,
But I was using, so Smirnoff has a 0 sugar flavored vodka now that we decided to try. And they had one that was strawberry rosé. I tried that one in Vegas and I enjoyed it. This one is watermelon mint. And I don't know if it's just that they mix really well with ocean water and Sprite, but it makes these things badass. And I am a big fan. So by the end of the night, I'll probably have a blue tongue.
I just don't. I don't know. Smirnoff vodka to me is like drinking Windex.
They don't have that flavor anymore.
I know, but
no.
I can't. But the ocean water, good choice, because that's what I think. Isn't that what ocean water is at Sonic? Is Sprite with like coconut?
I think it was coconut, yeah. Coconut, lemon, lime, deal. Yeah. And so now it's got a little splash of watermelon and mint, so it gives it an even more of an icy flavor. It's
nice.
This is sick. This is good.
I wonder how well that in the Zoku scene, you could have made it a slush too.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to get you one. Then one day we'll get sponsored.
Because I will make slushes. But yeah, finding these in the store, I was like, oh shit.
What store did we find these at?
I found them at Walmart. They were $1 each. A box of 10.
Okay.
Box of 6.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, it was a box of 6. It was $1.08. I was all like, okay, well, I have to try these.
Did you buy a shitload to bring back? Or have you found them?
They're here locally. I found them locally.
Oh, they are.
I took them with me to Vegas. That's how excited I was about them.
Oh, okay.
And I did a good thing. I'll tell you right now. I got out of Vegas with spending less than $100 for outside of the hotel.
There you go.
I didn't even drop $100 outside of that.
Nice.
I did a good job. I brought a punch. I was really going like, I was like, look, I got to go out here. It was kind of sprung upon me. It was kind of a bad month to be spending. And I was like, all right, let's really prep this out. And I brought a shitload of my own food. I brought a couple bottles of booze and a bunch of mixers. And I was like, let's fucking do this.
Did the ghosts in your hotel drink your booze?
No. It was, I had a room that was haunted where they said that the previous tenants had said that the pillows were thrown on the ground in the middle of when they went to like take a shower and come back. I don't know. That didn't happen where I was, but I was going to write in and say that I was constantly awoken by loud farts that could not have been my own. Just to see if they would post it, because they print out all the ones and post it on the front. I just wanted to like maybe go back later and see if it says, hey, potentially flatulent ghoul resides in 252.
Love it. Oh, love it. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But it was a fart gun. It was not a ghoul, a flatulent ghoul.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a flatulent ghoul for sure.
Yeah. I feel like that's false advertisement. But then again, I don't,
I don't know. I mean, you can't just demand that ghosts do stuff.
No, but I used to work in a haunted hotel.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional. Yeah, the last hotel I worked for in Napa, it was on an Indian burial ground. I saw things. It was a children's Indian burial ground. So there was like the spirits, they were fine with me. I think they used to fuck with my boss though. As they should.
Yeah.
Anyway. If you ever in Napa and you want to know where they did put the bones that we excavated. It was kind of Indiana Jonesy, kind of cool. They did put them back in like little vault kind of thingies, and I know exactly where they are.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a little fun up top. Let's do some birthdays. It's been a while. We haven't heard about birthdays in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
There probably was a few birthdays, and then there's some bummer news going on. So let's at least start on a good note.
Well, we miss a lot of really good birthdays, and there are a lot of people I love, and a lot of people I really don't love. So what we missed was Candice LeRae. Happy birthday!
Well, very
Our
cool.
friend. I hope he went to the moon. Cameron Grimes. Oh my God. Can't wait till I get my Cameron Grimes figure. Haven't got it yet.
Did you order the ringside exclusive one that comes with all the dollar bills?
All dollar bills. You got to.
That
That's like a great figure.
I think
Justin,
did a great job with that one.
Yeah, I think Justin wants them to make a Cameron Grimes that the chest hair like vanishes.
Yeah.
And the beard, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm against that. So,
Covered in oil.
Yeah, that they all should be covered in oil. But anyway. Swerve. Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve's birthday house. So he had a birthday. Happy birthday. Speaking of people I don't like, but I'll be nice and say happy birthday to a couple of these people. Robert Stone. God, we all know how I feel about Robert Stone, but happy birthday.
But he's got to be like beloved or something. Like I don't understand. Like
by who?
Think about that's what I'm trying to figure out is like when you think about like managers in WWE in general and managers in NXT. Very few have lasted nearly as long as Robert Stone has. And he's not even utilized that consistently or that well. But he's still always around. We know he knows how to wrestle. And they've never even tried that with him.
No.
I'm trying to find there's something fascinating about him because they've created T-shirts for him. They keep him around. They don't put him on TV for 6 months. He pops back up and everyone goes, what is this garbage? It's crazy. Someone's got to love everything he's doing. And I think something about what he's up to is pretty fascinating.
I will say this. Probably no offense, man. But I think he should have been the Max Dupree,
Yes.
Maximum male models would have been him. That would have been amazing.
I don't know who thought fantastic for that.
Yeah. That would have been goddamn, I love me Robert Stone if they had done that. But you know what? They didn't. So I'm like, oh God, what the hell? This is how long do we have to, how much longer until we don't see him for a while and then he comes back? I don't know. But another person who I really could care less about. I don't know what is he going by now, but your ROH heavyweight champion, Chris Jericho. Happy birthday. I will say this, I'm going to promote the cruise. If you're interested in going, hit me up. I have a discount code for you. It means you save money and I get money to spend. Woohoo! But they're doing a tournament again, like they did the first cruise, and the winner faces off Flip Gordon, because Flip Gordon was the inaugural first winner. So if y'all are interested, I'm excited. I love Flip Gordon. Love him. I miss the guy. Doing NWA now. So I think that was kind of a nice, since he's not really doing too much. I'm glad he didn't go to AEW, but that's another comment for later. So, it'll be real fun, and apparently Cardona is going to wrestle. That I did not know. I was excited because he cut a promo, and I think he's going to defend the internet championship too. He's going to put that out there too, I believe.
That's cool.
So I'm excited. So I got to find my Zach. Flip Gordon, and the whole being in this tournament. Pretty much, yeah.
Because he's in the tournament. Okay.
He's in the tournament, and that's the prize. Is you're facing off.
Wrestle Flip a few times then.
Oh yeah, that's why. Cool. That's why you should try to save pennies. Let's do this shit.
Well, if you want to go to wrestlingontherocks.com/shop and buy a shitload of my merch, I'll go to the cruise and I'll live tweet it.
Yeah. We'll do live things. We'll try to interview people. It'll be great. I know we can get Flip. I probably
Do
can
they
get
have
other.
internet on the boat?
Oh, hell yeah, they do.
Then I'll bring the computer. We could do a live show with my supercomputer from the boat.
Nice. Watch. We're like, can we get a guest? I can finagle that.
Oh,
Don't.
we would get guests
I
for
will.
sure. We would
Oh,
surprise
yeah.
guests.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it in a bit. We were at Cauliflower Alley Club in Vegas. I have
Ooh.
external mic for my phone that I kept in my pocket the whole time in case a possible interview came up for John Arezzi. Didn't actually pan out, but there was a couple times where I was like clicking it on. I'll grab it while you're telling the next birthday so you can see what I was talking about because it was crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just like walking around with this giant mic on the bottom of my thing, and I was like, with the new camera too on the new phone. Yeah, you could like 4K
Badass.
video these people.
Nice.
Who else?
Nice. Well, Johnny, insert your name, had a birthday. So Johnny birthday. And I'm not talking, Johnny Wrestling. I'm talking John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, Johnny AEW, Johnny Dynamite, all of that fun stuff. Happy birthday, man. One of my favorites. Emi Sakura, happy birthday. Another one of all of our favorites. And I'm excited is Joaquin Wilde. I really think that I'm telling you, I really honestly believe ever since Legado has left NXT, it's gone to shit. I'm just going to say that.
I think there's been a difference. I don't know if they're to be the one to blame, but yeah. So I have a big old external condenser mic for the phone, so I can literally like record someone and have the mic right at them, and
he's got a better little vlog kind of setup than some of these other people who are in wrestling who are problematic people have, or even if they're not problematic. Yeah,
it's true. I got a great setup for this stuff.
Yeah, he does. Brandon Cutler should hit you up to get some tips whenever they bring that back. Anywho, so Bruno San Martino, happy birthday, legendary man. Speaking of legendary people, today is Rhino's birthday. Rhino's still going, man. His age, 47. Happy birthday, man. And that's today.
That's cool.
One of my other favorite people in the entire world, and if people probably would not believe me, but I fucking love the goddamn Miz, and his birthday is tomorrow. That's fucking awesome. That is awesome. I will say that. Love him. Loved him since the Real World days. Yeah. Yes. Did you know, fast Miz fact here, did you know on the MTV, the challenge circuit, he is the most winningest contestant ever on those challenges. He's won the most.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that ridiculous? And it's not because he's a wrestler. It's just because he's fucking awesome.
It just means everything to him to win an MTV contest.
Yeah, like that. That was his. He was never on the Real World. He would not have the career he has now.
Yep.
Let's face it. And everyone thought it was a joke. So
and that's not to say that he hasn't. Because it's going to sound like I'm being really dismissive when I go, yep, he wouldn't have the career he has today without Real World. I'm not trying to dismiss the idea that he didn't work hard after that. He worked hard to get into that, and then he knew what he had when he was there, took full advantage of that, and he never stopped pushing himself further and further and
people
working
laughed
harder.
At him. If you go back to that season, people laughed at him.
Yeah.
Like, his housemates were like, you're a fucking idiot, you know?
Yeah, and you were right. He is an idiot, but
he is an idiot.
That's what makes him so successful.
Exactly. He's great, and I think that's really why I enjoy like him and Maurice, because you would never think, like when you look at Maurice, like her and him, what the hell? And they've been together a very long time now. So look at them. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Nikki Bella should have been jealous of her. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she got her man. Her man didn't end up with no like dollar store like version of her, whatever. Anyways, Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace, man. Good happy birthday coming up. Another person we love, Ilya Dragunov. I love his passion and everything. I'm a little concerned about him, but we'll talk about that when we get there. What's going on with him over there at NXT land? Rikishi, happy birthday. Yeah. Rhea Ripley, happy birthday.
Oh, very cool.
She also shares a birthday with Ricochet. Love Ricochet. Love him. And then Dusty Rose is having a birthday. So happy birthday, Mr. Dream. And finally, there is one birthday that I want to shout out to. And I was hoping we probably did bad news first because this would have been a great segue to some of the news that's been going on. I guess I'll wish you a happy birthday, Tony Khan.
Tony Khan's birthday? What a rough week to have a birthday. If you're
what
Tony
a
Khan.
rough week. I know, it's on the 10th. What a rough week, man.
Yeah,
rough
like,
week.
We really got to turn this around by my birthday, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's see.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get there. A few things that did happen. We talked about it briefly yesterday, but you might have more stories or something to say about it. Antonio and Noki passed away just a couple days ago. So tears in our beers to Antonio. Absolute legend. Yeah. Did you ever get the chance to see or interact with him in any way? I don't know if he came to the States almost ever. It was very rare.
He never came to the States. And if he did, it was probably in the 80s.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
But as a child and an adult, probably one of my memories of who Antonio Noki was. Bad News Bears Take Japan.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah. And to see these really cool photos of Murder Grandpa. Danny Zuko from Greece, like the Japanese version, tagging with Inoki. Those have been kind of cool to see around the web.
Yeah.
Last couple of
days. That's been
cool. I'm waiting for it to come out in a leather jacket and go, hey, very fonts, like the Japanese fonts.
Let's see. Alicia Fox got engaged.
Yeah,
as well. So congratulations to her. She also said 3 years sober, I believe. So double congratulations to her.
Yes. She was one of my favorites. I loved her. But that's a fucking hard life. And around the time all of that happened, I mean, obviously, there were women that was still the diva era. I mean, it kind of got to the revolution, but I mean,
yeah, she was really nice a couple times. I bumped into her, and I know a few people who've bumped into her and have always said really nice things about their interactions with her. She's a really nice person at the heart of it all. Yeah. And then the other couple things, there's a couple more passings actually. Sarah Lee passed away today. There's a GoFundMe if you look on that. She was the 2015 Tough Enough winner, wrestled with WWE for about a year in 2016, and ended up getting released and doing stuff on the indie circuit as far as I could find. So I'm not really familiar with her work in general, but it is really sad and crazy. She was married to Wesley Blake. They had 3 kids together.
Holy crap.
She's 30 years old. 30 years old. So I don't know what's going on there. But at the same time, you don't know. You never know. There's a lot of things people can assume, but it can be any random thing. Like, I have a friend who was like a friend of a friend, but a direct friend, right? So my friend's really good friend at the time passed away at 24 years old. Toxicology reports came back with absolutely nothing, and they said cause of death was just natural causes. Like at 24 years old, your heart can just slow down and stop. He just passed away in his sleep, and it's just crazy. You just don't know, and so, yeah, take care of everyone you can.
They raised almost $45,000.
Yeah, they raised almost $45,000. They were looking for $20,000 to pay for the funeral expenses and stuff. So, a lot of notable names, people giving in there in the list of donations and stuff, but. Yeah, you can find it pretty much on anyone. Like you go on Twitter. We retweeted it on @WOTR the show, and probably the majority of people you're following online is probably tweeting it out too. So if you got a couple bucks, can't hurt. And then who's Mandy Rose's brother passed away. It looks like too, which sucks. So thoughts and prayers and well wishes to all of them and their families and stuff, because it sucks. It sucks. There's a lot to deal with.
Oh, Vic Joseph got married.
Vic Joseph got married.
They're in Italy.
They're in Italy. Do you know what part of Italy?
I think near Rome.
Near Rome? Yeah. That's interesting.
Wow.
Because it's not Mike Rome.
Okay.
He's always kind of near a Rome, in a way.
And actually, wait a minute. I think Mike Rome's birthday is this week.
Mike Rome's birthday's coming up, too? Everything's coming up Rome, baby.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. Wow. Bummer things, good things. and drama.
Yep, and then a lot of drama. Right before we get into the drama,
Yeah.
let's talk about a little bit of let's get a little egocentric here. Let's talk about some me things.
Mhm.
I went to Cauliflower Alley Club, and I got to meet
Mhm.
Roy. So
Roy's the
after he posted a picture, your audio has been cutting in and out, and I'm watching the feed come in, so you might want to double check your mic or something. But
Okay.
so you tweeted for me to meet the dude. He liked it at one point, and I was like, okay, hopefully I meet this dude. No idea who I was looking for or when or anything, so I was like, I don't know how it's gonna happen. I guess I'll just tell Amanda it didn't work or something. And then he tweeted a picture of himself, and then you made a comment saying, here he is, effectively, like in one way or another. And I went, oh shit, that's the guy. I saw him. I walked by him like 5 times. Like, I made eye contact and nodded. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I didn't know who he was, but he was constantly in the hallway and he was talking to talent a bunch. And so I was like, this guy seems busy. He's doing his thing, right? So the second day I find him and I went, oh, Roy, we've got a mutual friend. I was like, MsAmandaJayne. And he goes, I've sat right next to MsAmandaJayne for many a show. And I was like, so it sounds like you've had a pretty good time. He goes, it's always lively. He was
the one. Okay, for reference, people, Roy is the one who, when Will Ospreay pushed me, pushed a woman. Roy was the one who held me back. He's like, oh, don't do it.
Ooh.
Don't do it. I'm like, he pushed it away. Yeah. So Roy can tell you about that.
That's so good. I didn't know he was at the Ospreay event.
Yes.
So now I got to go back and see that footage.
Mm-hmm.
So then he was telling me that he's a major player in the weekend in and of itself. That a lot of I say weekend, it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it saves a lot of money. Realistically, it definitely saves a lot of money. Because I was noticing when I was booking the hotel, you helped me find this hotel. I'm not going to pretend any otherwise. You found it. When I was looking at it and
I was
booking
also intrigued.
Yeah.
It was haunted, it said.
The weekend was over 3 times the amount per night than the rooms were. And if they're trying to get people over there, it's like, hey, this is a lot more affordable if we do it these days. So makes sense. He was a major player in the thing, and we got to talking a bit, and it was really cool. I talked to him. I even told him after the first night's banquet that I wanted to help out next year. I was like, I feel like the video packages might be something I could help out with because some of them seem a little bit simple. You know what I mean? I was like, I feel like that we could have done a little bit more fun stuff with it, And he was telling me about the frustrations he had with it. Sometimes he's able to get some from actually WWE will provide him at times. One other WWE, like the warehouse guy and stuff, they were there. They're part of it. And some of them, they just tell him he better figure it out on his own. So he just uses like whatever program he finds in his computer and throws them together. And I was like, dude, let me help you with that. And so he's really on board. It was a really good time. At one point, I thought you would like this. He asked me to help him fetch Conan and Rey Mysterio as they were coming in late. They're going to be coming in during the banquet that they're being honored at. Nice. And so I ran around the hotel with him and helped find them and get them back to their seats and everything. And it was a good time. It was really cool.
Because I will tell you guys that it's like about who you know. And not only that, but if the people that you do know, if they trust you, if they trust the person that's your mutual, too, especially, you cannot go wrong. And Roy is an amazing dude. He used to, I don't think he is anymore, but he used to do the social media for Cauliflower Alley. I didn't want to like give you the whole, oh, this is what Roy does, like meet the man, then you'll know and stuff. Like if people don't know who Roy is, Roy actually, if you're a Lucha Libre person, he's like the king of like Lucha. He's like the historical, like the chronicle man of Lucha Libre. Anything that you see that's been updated on like YouTube or wherever that is like classic, like old Lucha Libre that was like you might have seen on a VHS tape. Guess who uploaded that? That was Roy. His collection is just out of this world. And like
it was amazing. Talk to him even about that stuff. He's got a AAA tattoo. Like this dude takes it seriously.
Yep. He was trying to get me to go to Triple Mania. I said, oh, and then he was telling me because Marty had wrestled at the Crash, how easy it goes. But I was like, are you going? Because I feel more comfortable if I went with somebody instead of going by myself. But I'm glad, don't go to Mexico right now. It's not that safe. So yeah, So I think that's why like Marty's not wrestling as much in Mexico right now. Flip just did AAA in Tijuana. I'm a brave guy, but yeah, but no, he's got a AAA tattoo. I mean, yeah, I mean he's got, you know, interesting friends. And you're like, wow, yeah.
Yeah, and when I say AAA tattoo, when we say AAA tattoo, I'm not talking about like he's got an inspired by AAA tattoo. It's the company logo. It was like getting the WWE logo on your arm, except it's AAA. Like, it's the company logo. So,
yeah,
sort of like if I were to be like, oh, I have a WWE tattoo, but then I show him it's like a mankind as a panda thing. It's like, okay, that's not what I mean. I mean like literally, it's the logo.
No. And if you have an AEW one, I'm just gonna say, you're a loser.
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue down the line.
That I wouldn't like if you were to come up to me and say, "Oh, I have an AEW tattoo." I'm like, no, not impressed. Tell me you have a AAA tattoo. Totally impressed. If you told me you had a, I don't know,
CMML.
Yeah, that too. If you had a like the line, like a very good lion's head, the New Japan one, yeah, I'd be kind of impressed. If you had the giant panda, yeah. If you had the giant panda from DDT, I'd be impressed. You know, if you had, if you have like a image of like CM Punk, not impressive. No. If you had Colt Cabana, I'd question your judgment. No offense, but you know, I'm like, you must be weird in the head. But and I don't have one, by the way. And when I get my wrestling tattoos, they're not going to really look like wrestling tattoos to what you would think. Sanrio characters dressed as different wrestlers.
That'll be good. That'll be good. Kiro coming in. Cheers to Kiro. Cheers. But yeah, it was really cool. It was a really fun event. I went there with John Arezzi as also a plug. Pro Wrestling Spotlight is now a video podcast. It debuted today. I'm producing that now, and I'm on screen here and there, so it's a show that I'm a part of now. Gone from Wrestling on the Rocks to Pro Wrestling Spotlight, then and now kind of concept. It's not then and now, that was an older version, but
cheers to that.
Yeah, it's been really cool working with him, and it's John Arezzi and Bob Smith. Now, people who don't know Bob Smith, he was originally a contributor to PWI when it first started. The first PWI 500 list, the first two of them were 100% Bob. He came up with the idea, he wrote them, he was painstakingly putting them together. You don't have PWI 500 without Bob Smith, and so it's been really cool to be able to talk to both of them. A lot of it's them talking to each other, but you know, before and after we record and on the top and the bottom of the shows when I'm in there, I like to kind of ask a few questions here and there of like, hey, you know, some of the younger audience may not know that how cool some of the stuff is that you did, which at the time I'm sure just felt like work, right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that was really cool, and I was able to see him while I was out there. Arezzi introduced me to Medusa, Alundra Blaze, WWE Hall of Famer. I believe I can officially state as well now, because she said it on her Twitch last night. Me and her are working together on a podcast now. Nice. Producing her 5-Minute Mondays. It's going to go to a full video format pretty soon. We're hoping by next month it'll be launched.
Nice.
And so I'm working with her now.
You're a total upgrade compared to someone else who used to do her stuff. Let me tell you. Shout out to you, Trina.
Yeah.
One of my many haters. Yeah.
One of your many haters?
One of my many haters. You know, a lot of these people, they don't like me. And you know what? I don't like them. And you know why people don't like me? Because I know a lot. I get told a lot.
Well, yeah.
And some people, I'm their favorites and they can't handle it. I'm married to Kate. I'm still Colt's favorite.
That's funny. But yeah, so I'll be doing some stuff with her now. But the weekend in and of itself was really fucking cool. I got to meet David Cantu, 92-year-old, oldest member of CAC. He was given a little award while he was there. He wasn't expecting. They didn't tell him.
Awesome.
He was a wrestler in like the 40s and 50s.
Wow.
I think into the 60s, and I think beginning in the 70s he started, if I remember correctly from reading up on him, in the 70s or so. I also pulled him aside and talked to him for a bit, got a picture with him, because I was like, hey, you never know nowadays who you're going to see when, and that's why I got a picture with Jerry Jarrett. I'm all like, what are the odds I'm going to be in a room with Jerry Jarrett again? Where he's just all like, yeah, let's take pictures. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But and then he opened up a promotion in San Antonio towards the tail end of the territory days, and he said once Vince McMahon started going national and was starting to buy out stuff, he just felt like it was a good enough run, and he was fine to close up shop. So I guess right around the 80s, he shut it down.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, pretty crazy, pretty cool. Like to be able to see some of these people and talk to him. I got to go over to Jimmy Hart and ask him about Andy Kaufman a little bit. That was fun.
Very cool.
But it was neat. It was neat to see the people. I got to talk to JBL like twice.
Wow.
Like casually. It was great.
Yeah.
I got a picture with JBL. I went over to him because I do some stuff with Sam Roberts from time to time. So I went over to him and I was like, hey, I'm friends with Sam Roberts. And he goes, so you're the one. And he, and then he was all like, you tell him it's great that he wasn't here this weekend. And I was all like, okay, I will. And then he's like, let's get a picture together. And I told him, I was like, I love how much shit you give him. He goes, I love giving it, So, yeah, he was cool. I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was a few other people. Like, RVD was just hanging around. But, like,
Oh, yeah.
It was really neat to just, like, be able to casually talk to these people. I talked to B. Brian Blair a couple of times. Just because, I mean, he's, like, president now, so he's just wandering around. But,
yeah.
It was really neat. It was really neat, and it was a really cool event. And I think that given the opportunity, people should jump on it because fans can go now. You don't need to just be a member of the business. But I mean, as like I'm being introduced to people, they're like, "Oh, he's part of the business. He does this and that." I'm always like, "I'm not part of the business, guys. Like, what are you talking about?" But your mic's out again. I don't know what you're doing over there, but your mic's completely out. Technical difficulties. Take a drink. While you're doing that, I'm going to tell you what Kuro said in the chat. He said, is it normal that a wrestling show makes people want to shut off their TV halfway through and cancel their cable subscription? Because that was AEW. I mean, it's the new norm. That's for sure. Your mic is still off. I still can't hear you. Yeah, I don't know if you need to, like, jump out and jump back or... Oh, I heard a little scratchiness there. She's gone. It's just me. All right.
I'm here too.
Oh, producer lady. Here we go.
I'm back up. I'm back up.
You're back. You're back in business.
Back in business, baby. We got EGs and vodka.
Oh, you're in it. Slushy and vodka. You're in the mix. There it says connecting to audio.
All right.
Disconnected audio. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. You're not coming through on my levels at all. I think your computer is breaking live. Kira says it's the Ref Marsh show. Yeah.
It is. It is. Welcome.
I know. It's going to be like Sam Roberts, except a lot more sloppy because he's able to like have a conversation with himself. He does. He's used to not having friends.
Hey!
Kira says, Kira says play-by-play commentary. Yeah, we'll just do a watch-along. I'll just call commentary. I'm trying to think, was there anything else during CAC that we wanted to make sure that we
I was
shot
not
out?
there. You were there.
You know what was cool to see? Billy Silverman. I got to talk to him a few times. He's a pretty legendary ref, too. He was in with WWE back in the Attitude Era. He was also on WCW. He was the ref for the 97 Halloween Havoc, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. He was also referee for the Finger Poke of Doom, one of the most famous wrestling matches of all time. I saw a picture the other day where he was refereeing a match with Brian Pillman and Owen Hart, which is pretty cool. I just can't hear you. Flick the side of your computer where the mic is. You're looking for little holes on the side. I bet you if you flick it, you can get your audio back. Kiro says also Wade Barrett on SmackDown commentary. That's true. So they shook up all the commentary stuff. But yeah, as far as like CAC stuff, I don't know if there was anything else so much. Other than it was a really good time, and I suggest people go. It's $25 a year to be a member. You have to be a member to go to the banquet. It's $300 for a lifetime membership that you're good forever, and then tickets to the banquet are like $150, and 100% of all that money goes directly back into the whole thing. But it was really cool. It was a really good time. Let me see. I'll pull up right now the commentating differences.
I feel like you called one of them. You called Patrick.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin Patrick, and I think that Booker T I mentioned at one point. Or not Booker T, but Wade. We talked about calling Wade there.
We did talk about Wade, yeah.
So it says on Friday Night SmackDown, this is the WWE.com article. SmackDown, the commentary table will be headed by Michael Cole with Wade Barrett doing color commentary. Samantha Irvin will be the ring announcer, and the interviews will be conducted by Kayla Braxton and Megan Morant.
Woo!
On Monday Night Raw, Corey Graves will still be providing his colorful insights and will be joined by Kevin Patrick on play-by-play. Mike Rome will continue to announce from the ring, and Byron Saxton will transition from the commentary booth to backstage interviews. Also joining Saxton in backstage interviews is none other than Kathy Kelly in her return to WWE.
Yay!
Over at NXT, Vic Joseph will be assisted by six-time world champion, six-time WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. Alicia Taylor will still provide her exceptional voice to ring announcing, and Mackenzie Mitchell will once again be conducting interviews. On Premium Live Events side, Michael Cole and Corey Graves will come together again to announce from the booth, and Pat McAfee will return to WWE once his college football days are over. The only thing to me that was a big glaring omission is Sarah Schreiber. She's been on Raw for a while now, and I think she does a bang-up job. She's really good. She's always putting over the company. She's very positive in all the things I've seen her in her interviews. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's going to be on her way out. Jimmy Smith put out a tweet about how he was no longer going to be with the company, but how much he appreciated the time and how welcoming the fans were to him. Mm-hmm. I liked him a lot. I thought he was good. Without trying to be rude at all, I didn't think he provided such a high-level energy or voice that he's going to be, like, severely missed. But I thought he did a good job with what his job was. He didn't stand out like a Mauro Ranallo. He didn't stand out like a McAfee. He doesn't stand out like a Corey Graves, and I think that's all fine. You don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. So I liked him in this place. He didn't stand... There's some other people who stood out in very negative ways, and he was none of that. He didn't do anything or say anything that was so awful so often that I was like, what is this guy doing? I thought he fit well, especially because you had Corey and Byron on both sides of him.
Yeah, he's the middle.
He was a middle straight man type, and I thought he did that role very well. So it's, he's going back probably to the sports that he was at before, and I think it's all well and good. It's all fine. Mm-hmm. Kuro says, to be a WWE commentator, you need to drink 30 energy drinks before the shows. Yeah. Well, and to book their competitor, you need to hit a couple of rails. Let's see. I cannot hear you. You need to go probably to your Zoom preferences and put that you have a new audio input now that you have headphones on. I think her computer's audio crashed. I think that mic was going out. Because I thought it was my headphones earlier. I was like, that's weird. I'm getting weird feedback in my headphones. So I switched it. And I didn't hear it for a minute.
Does she have any other headphones?
She put in new headphones right now, and it looks like she's trying to figure out how to pair them.
Okay. That's a start.
She says they're paired, but I'm not hearing her. Go to your Zoom preferences, audio. You got to go to input and output and change it to your headphones, or same as system, potentially. Oh, my God. No.
Take a drink. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Have a drink, everybody. Not you, Amanda. She took a drink.
She counts.
Yeah.
She's in it, babe.
Yeah, she was all, don't mind if I do.
Here we go.
Yeah. Let's see. What's going on? I'm going to have to, edit this show.
That's not what we do here.
Oh, I'm hearing noises.
Is she back?
She's definitely not back. There. Whoa.
Oh.
In In and out. A lot of in and out. Kuro says Marsh should be a WWE ref. No, I can call it like I see it. I cannot hear you now. I heard a couple words here and there and some feedback. Let's see. Oh, she's gone. Lost the whole feed. I went from, I think my audio's about fixed, to gone.
Alright, so...
Alright. Well, now I wish I sent Justin the link just to see if I want to see if he was man enough to jump in. But but I didn't tell him I was gonna. I just did it. I was like, it's just to see if he'll do it. It's kind of a dare. And he's probably not even like home right now. So.
What about Kuro? Kuro, dare you to show up.
Oh yeah, Kuro, you on? Kuro says replace Daniel Cormier with Ref Marsh for the fight pit. Well, I mean the difference is I probably would just stand in there and cry. Can you imagine like a fucking legit brawl breaks out? Ref's just let me see. No other new stuff. All right. Well. That's right. CJ Perry and Miro both ended up in some acting gigs, which I thought was pretty cool. Surreal Life for CJ Perry, and Miro was in some other actual show things. So.
Yeah, he's in a real show.
A real show. But I think for me, as far as CAC goes, I think that was everything on that. There was nothing else really other than it was just a badass time. Oh, I did get to talk to the ad-free show guys. That was really fun. I haven't talked to the guy who runs their YouTube, but since I was working with Sean Waltman, so it was really kind of funny to see him there and go, oh shit, you're this guy. And he was like, that's kind of a big ego boost in a room like this, because it's just filled with all these legends and Hall of Famers. And I'm all like, you're the guy from YouTube. You're the behind the scenes guys from YouTube. Like
nerds.
Yeah. Wait a second. I smell another nerd around here. But that was really cool. It was really fun to talk to him and get some insight and talk about some stuff. But really cool hearing the speeches from Conan, where he was thanking X-Pac. He shouted out John Arezzi specifically for introducing him to Medusa and booking his first match with Sabu. And then the Double J, Jeff Jarrett speech was very moving. The JBL speech was very moving. Rey Mysterio's speech was very, very good.
Was any of this recorded?
I really hope so. Like, because I want to, like, listen to it again. It was so good.
Aww.
Amanda's back on screen, but I'm not hearing her. No audio. I think she's gonna come in from her phone.
Oh,
She's gonna do the episode from her phone. Can't keep me down. She's not out for the count. Akira does say the fight pit was made 5 feet taller and you stand above the match. It doesn't mean I wouldn't cry watching people kick each other in the face, dude. I'll cry. But that's stuff that's going on with me. Give us a follow at WOTR The Show and at Ref Marsh to keep up with what I'm up to, because yeah, there's a good chance I'll be working on some more projects coming up here that'll be really cool to see. I suppose I'll pull up some of the results stuff. Let's see. While we wait to hear back from Amanda as she angrily types away on her phone. I'm pulling up the results for Dynamite.
Oh, AEW, okay.
Yeah, for AEW.
AEW.
Yeah, AEW.
Let's try this again.
I heard her for a second. And then she's just like back out again. Oh my god.
So we gotta catch up on like 2 weeks.
There's like 2 weeks worth of stuff, so we're definitely gonna talk about like not every match.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's going on here. Oh, man. Parker Bordeaux's still doing stuff over there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's been on their dark show, it looks like, as I'm pulling up results here. Kuro says Daniel Cormier is going to cry because Lesnar. Dude, that's their big speculation, right? Is that he's showing up so he can do Brock Lesnar versus Daniel. I think that would be sick. I mean, they've been talking about it for a long time, and there's a way you can get away with it. I don't know why you would need him to be guest referee in a match with Seth Rollins and Riddle for that to happen. Like, I don't know if that's a reasonable excuse for Brock Lesnar to show up. Like, was he going to be ringside because he wants to see the fight? Like, it doesn't make sense. But I'm down for it. What the hell is she doing? She's got like 2 screens now. And my God.
Sorry.
She's got 2 screens and one's just like a phone icon. She's like trying to call in, and I bet you there's a mute button on her headphones.
Yes.
And she doesn't know where that mute button is because Clump's got that. He can click the thing on his headphones. Kira says, as long as you don't talk about Andrade and Sammy, AEW is amazing. Andrade and Sammy was AEW this week.
Yeah,
that was everything that happened this week.
That's all I saw on my feed.
It's all anyone was talking about. And it's hysterical to me. What are we doing? I'm not hearing anything.
What's she doing?
I don't know. She's goofing off. Should have given her one of these microphones. I've got like 4 mics here. I heard you just there. It was broken up real bad. But now you're gone again. Yeah.
Maybe we should just stop and try to start all over again.
I gotta edit all this stuff anyways.
I don't know.
I mean, YouTube is whatever, and Twitch is where we get our chat. YouTube's just an archive for what goes out audio-wise. I gotta cover up stuff anyhow.
Okay.
Can I hear you now? I'm gonna mail her one of these fucking mics. She can plug in a mic. That little shitty one I used to give you, the little button on it.
Yep.
I'm gonna send her that one. So she has an external microphone. You might need to turn off the internal microphone on your system. Depending on the computer, you might have to go to your sound options and change the system-based microphone out of being the one. Especially if it's Samsung. Those Samsung tablets and stuff are dicks. They are. I worked with them for a while. It was a nightmare. The way that their audio settings were. Kira says that's the joke, is that about Andrade and Sammy. But the other thing is this, is if you don't talk about Andrade and Sammy, AEW wasn't amazing. Alright, I heard her again for a minute. And she's gone again. I don't know if she knows how settings work on computers. Go to like system preferences and stuff. What type of computer is it? Is it a Windows? It's a Mac? She's got a MacBook and is doing this shit? That doesn't even make sense. You gotta go to system preferences, you gotta go to audio, or you go to sound. And then in there, under input.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now I hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where it's been. I didn't even touch anything.
That's not true. You didn't touch anything. That's a lie.
Bullshit. I went in here. No. Oh, okay. And I have these little Bose expensive little noise canceling earbuds. Okay. And I'm like, the mute. I don't know how to unmute the shit. I thought you'd hit the button on the thing. I don't know.
Right. But the noise canceling we want is not your mic. That's not the canceling of noise I want. It's just the white noise that's supposed to be canceled.
If you tell certain people, they'd probably want my mouth to be muted.
That's true. Some people would disagree with me. That was probably their favorite part of the show. But noise cancellation is not meant to be the mic.
So true. So true. Okay, hold on. Now I can't hear you guys. What the fuck did I do?
Now you can't hear us? That's good.
Now I can hear you. Okay,
All
I'm
right.
putting these. Yeah, I'll have to play with this on a rainy day because it's not.
I couldn't find that in your Apple Music library. You can ask me to play a radio station
Shut
or
up,
ask for your
stupid Siri.
That's the most clear Siri I've ever heard in my life coming through that feed.
Are you serious?
I've never
Are you
heard Siri sound that crisp on anything. That was insane.
Wow.
She called in. It's like Siri's on the call now. Amanda, was there anything about any of the things that I was talking about for a long time that you wanted to say, or do you want to talk about AEW Dynamite?
I want to talk about AEW, and I will comment that comment is so right about the drama. Like, if there wasn't any drama, or knowing that, yeah, I don't know where to start. Like, I mean,
so here's my question, because I watched 2 weeks of Dynamite.
mm-hmm.
Is there anything happening storyline wise that you really like right now?
No, honestly, no. No.
Right.
What is funny is I love that poor Eli Isom, that squash match that Starks did, but the finish when he pounced on him like Tigger and pulled the leg up, and you could see Eli Isom laughing. That was fucking hilarious.
That was good. Ricky's pin was great. The match was clunky. They had no chemistry together, and they had a lot of mistimed stuff, and you could tell Ricky at a certain point was just like, fucking, just wrap it up. I wonder if they've never worked together before or something. Or
they have not. They have not.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a clunky match, and Ricky looked great, and I liked Ricky's pin. But as far as story goes, I guess I'm sort of intrigued by Mox and Hangman, because I think what they're doing here, that they're doing better, and it's probably due to Mox. They're doing better than anyone else has done, even though you can tell people are trying at certain times. Mox is blurring the line a little bit. You know, this is your final warning. You've talked yourself into a lot of trouble before, and if you do it again, I'm gonna fuck you up, right? Like, I'm not here for that shit, right? I didn't feel for 1 second that was like a shoot, brother.
No.
I felt like that was all part of it, and I felt like it was all done very, very well. That, like, well, everyone's talking about all this shit anyways. Do we want to pretend it's not happening, or do we want to go too far? Because that's the other thing that they did with MJF, unfortunately. He went too far in trying to pretend something was real, while a bunch of other real stuff was actually happening, and it ended up making it come off like, well, it's not the worst. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of MJF stuff fell flat just due to timing of other chaos, right? Not that they're incapable or that MJF was bad at it, but you just go, oh, they're trying really hard to make this look like something that it's not, in the midst of a lot of things that actually are that thing. So now the differences become glaring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if there wasn't... Yeah. So if all of the dumb shit backstage wasn't happening and MJF's story was still going the way that it was, there's a lot more room for you to go like, is this really happening or not?
Yeah.
But you see how everything else was dealt with and the MJF stuff was dealt with, and you go, oh, that's dealt differently because it's clearly the plan, right? With that in mind, I think that Moxie's doing an awesome job of, everybody knows, everybody's talking. Let's give a moment of, oh, he's shooting from the hip. Didn't really feel like shooting from the hip, but it felt like perfectly executed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was kind of very tongue-in-cheek to have that and how it was said and the whole thing. And, you know, I'm like, okay, I don't know if it is, okay, you're using this to try to wrap people into, okay, you know, not all of this is real, or we're going to just take advantage of this fact that there's all this bullshit, and why not, right? Because people are sick. And
yes, and I feel like Mox and Paige are taking advantage of the bullshit, and I feel like other people are not.
No.
And I feel like MJF is strictly like a victim of the bullshit, because his whole thing with Wheeler Yuta has come off like flatter than hell.
I know, it's
all
awful.
The other shit that's going on. It's weird.
Yeah, it's awful. And, you know, and also I think that right now it is so chaotic. Oh, and then I want to comment too, because Britt Baker tries to pull this shit too.
Yep.
And he's not very successful at it, you know? It comes off bad when it's like, and then also their social media, because I don't know if you saw this, but they had made a Mean Girls, like, or on the 3rd, I think it was. There was a Mean Girls, like, meme of her as Regina George with, you know, Penelope, Serena, and Jamie Hayter, you know, as the plastic. Well, no, as the plastics, and then she was supposed to be what, Katie? Bullshit. You're fucking worse than Regina George.
Mm.
Let's go there. Mm-hmm.
So, talking about the Brit stuff, you can't avoid, which by the way, Crow says, let's not also mention how AEW tweeted out in English to South America, a predominantly non-English speaking area of the world, that they were removing AEW from TV for nearly their entire continent while during Hispanic Heritage Month. Which, I mean, well, ill-timed contract endings is not their fault. The idea that they did it that way is funny, and I think you should send me that tweet. Like, I don't think that they're saying, like, hey, this is the month to do that, let's pull the plug now. It's like, it's ill-timed, and that's a bummer. But also, let's not.
And
let's not pretend it's like an attack.
Yeah. And it's also a bummer that we don't have charity shirts anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go there. And it's a bummer that Triple H and Stephanie aren't letting Cody do that over there, you know, because I would have been down for some shirts, you know?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, because now Brody Lee's wife is the one who does the Culture City stuff, since obviously the absence of Brandy now. She's picked a lot of that up. And so it just makes me wonder, like,
Yeah, I do wonder about a lot of their charity stuff seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
At very least, like, best case scenario is just not talked about like it used to be. Mm-mm. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they're not doing it like they used to.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, I don't think they are either, but at the same time, we wouldn't know, right, theoretically. So it's hard to say. It just doesn't seem like they're doing like they used to.
But it's also, it's the same people that are at these events. No offense to them. You know, you have Britt Baker there. Where's her old man?
Yeah.
Obviously, her old man isn't it doesn't seem like he's really invested in this company.
Oh, yeah, a lot of them are not. But let's go back to the storyline stuff we were still talking about before we talk about some of this backstage shit.
Yeah.
Talking about Britt Baker, you have to talk about Saraya. She's there now. She's cut the couple promos now. I don't know if she's, like, lost a step or is just really unsure of how to cut a promo without any direction. You know what I mean? Like, she came off really flustered. She was stumbling over her words. Some people were making fun of the stuff she was saying, like the Revolution thing. I was the Revolution here. I'm the Revolution here because I am the Revolution. I get what she was trying to say. I was the Revolution there. I will be the Revolution here because I am the Revolution. It's not where I am, it's who I am, right? She got flustered and said it all fucked up. And she didn't know how to recover, and she didn't even try to recover. She just went with it and stayed true to whatever it was she said, which, if you say it's something wrong, I mean, I can at least give, like, Bayley and Finn Balor props. I love when they make mistakes and they catch them and do stuff. Like when Bayley said Io, she called her Io Kai instead of Io Sky. Or Dakota Sky instead of Io Kai, or instead of Dakota Kai. And then she goes, I know I messed it up, you idiot. It's because you keep making noise and you threw me off. Her name is, Dakota Kai. And she moved on. She blamed the crowd for being noisy and booing her, right? You've gotten me. You got in my head, you assholes, right? Finn Balor on Raw said, when I beat AJ Styles last night, he, like, stopped, looked in the camera, and he goes, I said last night, but it wasn't last night, it was last week. And he's like, and he said something else that, like, blamed people, like, I'm so flustered by this thing, or like, I know what I meant and I just said the wrong thing, and, like, he dug his heels in and corrected, right? Saraya's not doing that. She said the wrong thing a couple times, and then her eyes were kind of, like, looking back and forth, like, did that work? So she did kind of, like, talk a lot of shit about Britt on commentary, which was kind of nice because some of it seemed like kind of subtle digs about stuff. I don't like how she said Toni Storm was the best women's champion that they've ever had.
I didn't like that either.
She's an interim women's champion, and Thunder Rosa's the women's champion, and you're already undermining her. Mm-hmm. Especially because that's who the women's champion is. I didn't like how in her first promo back, Saraya goes, finally to have a boss who listens to me. But the funny thing was this. She didn't say it with conviction. She said it and looked around like, did that work? You ever watch open mics? Like stand-up?
Mm-hmm.
Where a comedian will tell their joke that they're working out, and they say it. They're looking down because they're reading their notes, and then they look up and look around. Who's chuckling? Who's smiling? Did it work? Do I need to make a note of that? She was trying out material because she didn't fucking know. And how much of a bummer is it that that's where we're at with that fan base, that you go, oh, I have to knock the other company if I'm going to get this crowd to be behind me. Like, that says a bad thing about them, right? Because, like, we keep trying to say as fans online, and especially, like, with all this Malachi Black business and the Buddy Murphy stuff, like, hey, it's not WWE versus AEW. It doesn't need to be that way. But you have this mentality in the crowd where with AEW fans, if you say, hey, I liked working at WWE, they're going to boo you. Jericho's entire gimmick is such that if I say that what WWE does is correct, I will be a heel. He literally talked about coming up with the concept as saying, like, I said sports entertainment out there and they booed. And I went, oh, I can use this, right? Like, oh, okay, I'll lean into this. Now you have the sports entertainers, right? If you're going to respond negatively to that, like, so boisterously, it'd be better if it was dead air, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to cheer that you're here, right? It's one thing to say, I love how Tony Khan listens to me. It's another thing to say, I finally have a boss that listens to me. You're saying two different things there. Like, you're not putting over that this place is great. You're putting over that another place is bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and she's saying it knowing full well that she doesn't believe it. No one believes that she believes that. She was taken care of there for so long, so well. They did everything they could. They just didn't clear to wrestle. And Tony Khan will clear anybody to wrestle. He didn't give a shit. And if I'm being quite honest, and I think I've said it before, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but the last couple times we even saw Paige in the ring, I don't think she can keep up with a lot of the women who are in WWE right now in their prime. I think it would take some work. I think she could get there, but I think it would take a lot of work, and it could very well be that, like, hey, your presence is such that you can't not be on top, but where you're at in ring is such that we can't put you on top. So you're kind of stuck in a spot, right? Where it's all like, look, you are who you are. And that's a top star. But the business has continued to grow and picked up speed without you. And you're going to have to play a lot of catch up. And that's going to be really difficult to do if you are the one on top. In AEW, it won't be so hard. Because their tops are not that great. You know?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been on a little bit of a rant there. But
yeah,
I think that it's cool to see Paige doing stuff. It's a bummer to see how she's trying to cater to the audience and not even responding well. They booed when she said that Tony was the best champion that they'd ever had. The crowd booed it.
Because they know who's the best champion they ever had.
Yeah.
And it certainly wasn't the DMD.
Yeah. To also say that it's nice to see Toni Storm finally used to her potential, I have to question what that's supposed to mean because I feel like she was used at the highest potential when she was realistically in NXT UK. She hadn't gotten a chance to do it in SmackDown, and it was getting messy, and it seemed difficult, and it seemed like a struggle for sure. But NXT UK was anchored on her for well over a year.
Yeah.
She was a dominant star. Right now, she's an interim champion who has weird, clunky matches with people who keep getting injured. Like, she's had a few really good matches. Like the match she had with Serena, I really liked.
Yeah, the Serena one she had great chemistry with. That was a great match.
Yeah, it was amazing. But and I think she's an amazing star, but I wouldn't say that she's quite at her potential right now. I do think that she can do more and better than what she's currently at. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was weird. The physicality with Paige, the going back to the screaming, "This is my house" over and over again, just feels like not new enough to me. Daniel Bryan, I thought, was super smart. He said when he went into AEW, he was not going to be doing yes chance or no chance or anything like that. He said that was then. This has to be different. I can't just do what I did there here because that's not fair to here. Yeah. And we're seeing a lot of other people who go, I'm going to do what I did there because it worked there, and I'm too afraid of failing now. And that's what it comes off as, and it's a bummer.
Yeah, but you also had to think, too, that with look at their fan base. Daniel Bryan Bryan Danielson's not doing that, but they're doing that chant to him. So for a fan base that really doesn't like the competition, you sure are fucking stuck on all of those things. They're stuck. They're stuck on, Phil's bullshit. They're stuck on this, and it just, I'm like, yeah, the thing you hate, you're embracing. Yeah. So what is it?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of stupid. I couldn't figure out my audio there for a while, so I don't know.
True, that did happen. We all saw it.
That really did happen. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but I guess I don't know. Is what it is, I guess. So. And
when I watch through everything, and even as I read through the stuff, those are the only two stories that I'm actually like curious to keep up on. What's going on with Moxley and Hangman? I'm curious enough to keep up on.
Yeah.
MJF and Wheeler Yuta.
Boring.
Yeah. It's not. It feels like I've been trying to figure it out, and I think that what I determined is because Moxley's the champion, they're just going to do a thing to keep MJF busy where he goes through everyone in the BCC.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, that's cute. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
Yeah.
I think that both those dudes are more talented than this program is giving them. Like, than we're seeing from it somehow. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're both much better than what we're getting.
Yeah.
The Lethal Darby stuff I'm not interested in. Wardlow I'm not interested in.
Yeah, the Wardlow Brian Cage thing. Okay. It's funny because, his promo was like, oh, everyone's like, where'd you go? La la la. Y'all, he's getting paid to be at home. He was getting paid. Okay. Wouldn't you want to get paid? Hi, Coco Cabana. How you doing?
Right. And with Brian Cage, too, tell Brian Cage he can stay home for 7 months and work out as much as he wants. And he'll be paid the same he was getting paid whether or not he's got to take a bump. You kidding? That dude's going to be Mr. Olympia by the end of next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like Miro, it's like he's on that CBS show, East New York or whatever, this weekend. And it's like, yeah, he's probably getting paid too. I wouldn't complain. I mean, seriously, it's like, okay, you're getting paid. Like, that's how I feel about certain people. I'm like, sometimes it's just like, shut up. If you're not doing anything, you're getting paid. Okay. There are people out there who would love to trade with you. Okay.
That's true too.
And then there are people who are out there that you're like, oh no. Go home, sit your ass down.
Yeah.
But again, it's not whatever. And I'm really bored with Jericho and the Appreciation Society.
Yeah, I've got no interest for any of that, any of the Ring of Honor stuff. I'll be honest, when I look at it, I want to know what MJF is up to. I'm always interested to start Daniel Bryan matches at this point, but I don't always finish them.
Yeah.
No. I'm always interested when Mox grabs a mic now. I'm interested to see how Paige and Mox will be working together. I'm interested in Jamie Hayter, Serena Deeb, Toni Storm, and Saraya. But that's it in the women's division. And those are the only storylines, even looking at that, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep up on it. The rest of the stuff I see is like cringe clips and stuff. Like I hate to beat the dead horse, but like Marina's promo keeps coming across. And every time it does, I'll stop and watch it again because I'm all like, oh. You know what I mean? Like, Crash TV is the other thing. Oh, now JustinTIME's in the chat, that son of a bitch. Now he's in the chat. Could have fucking used him a while back. 20 minutes ago. Sent the guy a link. He comes in after technical difficulties to say cheers. Okay. JustinTIME my ass. How is his name JustinTIME when he's this late?
Couldn't tell you.
I'm kidding. Where's my JustinTIME sound gun?
There you go. I missed that. No. Well, I will say this to comment on Marina Shafir.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know where her old man is, right?
Yeah.
He can't cut a promo to save his ass either.
But his promos aren't trending because they're that bad. Like,
They should.
I'm not saying that he's talking them into the building, but he's not talking them out. You know what I mean?
That audience doesn't know shit. They should be.
Yeah,
I'm like, did you hear? I'm like, oh my God, Roddy, you're killing me. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't
I don't like
do
any
it.
of the Luchasaurus stuff right now. I think it doesn't make any
That's
sense.
awful. That's awful. What are you going to do in Canada, Christian? You're not going to be able to do anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Just take the mask off the damn dinosaur. Kill it. Kill that guy. I don't know why Tony Khan is so obsessed with that guy. The guy can't wrestle.
It's weird.
Get over it. Children are scared of him.
Did you ultimately watch the Action Bronson match?
Mm-hmm.
How did he do?
You know, I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I've been impressed by his presence and his character.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I think, okay, I don't know much.
I don't mean like character in like kind of a goofy way. I mean like his personality is like
yeah.
catching.
It you know what, I actually legitimately thought of people who are not wrestlers who come in to wrestle. I legitimately thought that actually this is probably one of the better ones. I'm more afraid to run into him in a bar mad than CM Punk. No shit.
I feel like even though I know CM Punk's been training for UFC for a while and did a terrible job, I feel like I'd have a better shot in a fight with him than Action Bronson.
Yeah.
And I've done some fight training myself, and I feel like that I would not be able to survive a fight with Action Bronson, even with my fight training I've done.
My dead grandmother could beat the shit out of Phil in a fight.
It's true, but he likes to talk like he's tough, and that's what I'm saying. Is that for a dude who talks like he's tough, he's not tough, and for Action Bronson to show up, and I listened to his music and I wasn't into it at all, and I was like, I can't believe this guy got famous on this, and then I started looking up other stuff he did. And he's got a great personality. He comes off as a total fucking badass. And I'm all like, yeah, this guy should be famous and on TV. I just don't need to listen to his music. I actually think that him as a wrestler is my favorite version of him right now. Like, this is a dude, like, I would probably get an action. I mean, I wish he didn't wear fucking, like, New Balance sneakers and fucking curled up high top socks. Like, he looks like a dad coming out to wrestle. Like, he fixed the car and now he's got to come wrestle. Okay, well, I'm not getting changed for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he looks like. But I also don't want to fight him and don't want to tell him to dress different. I would never tell him to his face. I would never be like, dude, you got to take off the stupid shorts. I'd be all like, you look great, man.
No, but I'm expecting more.
Okay. I hope
him and Hook. I'm expecting it. I want it.
I hope he does.
I really do. One thing I really think that coming out of this whole thing, right? I think that with what's going on, well, the women's thing, first of all, weird that Willow Nightingale for the third time, I think, is facing Jade again. Okay. Why can't someone come and take it away from her? I'm waiting. Or is it going to be one of the baddies?
I don't know.
You know, I mean, it should have really.
Here's the weird thing about it is when you think about like Goldberg's streak, it meant the world when he got to the world title. Yeah. They started Jade's streak with the TNT title. It's kind of making me care a little bit less and less about that title. Because at a certain point it goes, oh, that's that thing they have for Jade right now. It feels kind of like the FTW title. Where it's like, oh, that's the one that Taz just gave to Brian Cage for no reason, and then they just put it on Ricky because Brian Cage must have heat in the back or something.
No.
There's no good reason for them to take it off other than people probably didn't like him. He was mad about something.
No.
Yeah.
Ricky probably bitched about it.
Ricky probably bitched about it? All right, that's a possibility too I hadn't considered. JustinTIME coming through just too late. How you doing, Justin?
Should I change my name to that now? Just too late.
Yep.
I didn't even realize that you sent me a link. That was the thing.
I know, it was funny. I did it, and I even put that I didn't tell you I was going to do it, and I just did it just to see if you would. And I was like, he's not even going to be ready for it. And then I just blamed you because Amanda had a bunch of technical difficulties, and so I said it was mostly your fault. It would have gone fine if you had been here. So.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'll take the blame.
Yeah, that seems fair. Seems fair.
I'll hedge this one this time.
Yeah.
It
could have been Bishop, and you would have really killed it without good Delaware jokes.
That's a good point. Hey, so Justin, I don't know how much you've been hearing so much, but what are the stories currently in Dynamite that you're happy with?
And Rampage.
I guess Rampage is a real thing.
Rampage. I don't pay attention to Rampage, so
it's not a real thing. Rampage is like fetch.
There's not much to talk about on Rampage. Like, it's really just matches that they wanted to put on Dynamite, and then it's like, oh, here we go, let's put it on an extra night because we didn't get to put it on Dynamite. So
yeah, no, it's just
important.
Yeah. Are there stories because right now, as I break it down, the only thing in Dynamite that's got me interested is I want to see what MJF is doing, but I don't care to really watch everything he's doing. I just kind of want to know what he's doing. The Yuta thing seems flat, and I think both those guys are very good, and somehow it's flat. I mean,
the Yuta it's a quick one. That's about it, really. I think this is it. I think the Yuta thing is over. Like, this is it. I think so too. This match is it. So it's just like, I mean, I still am interested to see what MJF's gonna do. Like, I heard you say that you think he's gonna like run through the Blackpool Combat Club, and I'm just thinking I would not be surprised because I could see him doing it. He's just gonna do his own Trials of Jericho, except it'll be the Trials of MJF just running through the Blackpool Combat Club to get to Mox. Like, either way, Moxley facing Hangman, I'm kind of interested in because I really want to see those two go one-on-one, actually, because the only time they've ever interacted was during the casino ladder match. So, but other than that, like, I'm not really digging the Saraya stuff right now. Like, the first promo was just to me.
Isn't it kind of weird that, like, when you really break down Saraya coming back to wrestling, when you really think about when she came back even as a GM, and even in WWE, it was like, oh, her coming back, her being a presence is game changing. This is going to be amazing. I didn't love her as a GM, but I didn't hate it. It was fine to me. I thought it was interesting when she was the manager for Absolution for that brief period of time. I didn't think it was the best thing she'd ever done, but it was interesting and a cool way to put over new talent. She came back to wrestling and everyone said, oh shit, this could be huge. We're finally going to get some dream matches with Paige. Can she still go? Injury aside, she didn't keep up with the women the way that she used to, and I think it was just going to take time for her to do that. I think she was capable and driven enough to do it. She just didn't get that chance. It's weird that with a women's division that AEW has that's been touted as floundering since day one, they always keep waiting. Well, as soon as they get this woman, everything will be different. Well, as soon as they get this woman, everything's going to be different. Oh, they signed this woman. This is game changing. And every single one of them falls a little flat. I don't think Saraya is different. It feels like it was supposed to be huge. And when the moment finally happened, we all watched and went, oh, she's here now. You know what I mean? It didn't feel as big as our anticipation was.
Like, I think she could be a big part of the women's division, but that's if they use her correctly. But I'm starting to get doubts that even just by that first promo, that I don't even know what they're using her for anymore. Like, they just brought her in at this point. Like, yes, she got physical from what I've seen, because I didn't actually get to watch the full episode of this, because I switched to watch Chucky when it came on, so I didn't watch the rest of it. But, like, I just kind of caught some highlights of it, and I just saw that she got physical and everything. I'm like, but still, that doesn't signify what she's doing here. There's no clear sign of what she's doing here yet. Is she going to wrestle? Is she going to be a manager? Is she just, like, authority figure for the women? Like, I have no idea what she's doing here anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what she's up to, and it doesn't... I I think that with as much as people want to give WWE shit for, is this person skirting their drug policy and stuff, or when they want to say someone might be on steroids or not, and I think a lot of that conversation is not for us to have anyways, and I think it's kind of dumb. And I'm watching action movies in the ring. I'm not watching football. Performance-enhancing drugs don't bother me from that regard, right? But do I think it's like best? No. I obviously know that it tears down people's bodies, but those are all personal decisions that I'm not here to make, right? And so I typically don't say people need to be bigger than Brian Cage to be successful. That also means that I think that Adam Cole should do more than 50 push-ups every 3 months. I think that wait, what was the last thing you said? It was about Saraya.
Just that, like, we don't know what the hell she's doing right now.
So we complain that WWE isn't as open as they could be, or they say this person failed the wellness policy, but we don't know what it was, and was it this? And then, who was it? Someone got, I think it was even potentially Paige at the time. She got like a suspension, and she said it was for a steroid she was using for her neck or something. But people railed on WWE for a long time about their lack of transparency, and we, as being shills, we've always been like, well, it's kind of a business thing too. Also, there's liability. There's also HIPAA things or stuff like that. Everyone is twice as forgiving to AEW than they are as judgmental to WWE. So I think the reason Saraya feels a little weird right now is we haven't seen anything that the AEW has ever done that lets us know as fans that they take the health and wellness of their talent in any way a consideration. I'm not even saying serious, just a consideration. We've never seen a consideration for someone's health and wellness. We've seen them fire Havoc because he got into a fight and they said he was drunk. We've seen them wait for Jeff Hardy to be arrested and get court-mandated rehab for them to say, look, we're putting him through rehab. We've seen them sweep under the rug that he was... Has anyone here been around somebody who is a habitual drunk and not known if they were drunk or not?
Yes.
You didn't know if they were drunk?
Oh, I thought you meant they didn't know they were drunk.
Oh, I thought you meant that, yeah.
No, not them, us. From the outside, if you... I've known plenty of people with problems, and you know that there's a problem.
Oh, yeah, not that. No, I've never been around that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's good. But I'm saying that there were people there that knew. And they didn't do anything until the courts mandated. So when you see Saraya and all you know is the last thing we heard is the company that takes it seemingly as serious as they can, or as open as we get, and who knows what that is, and it could be blurry, and maybe they lie to us, and I don't know. But at least we've seen them suspend people, and at least we know that they do things, and we know that they told Jeff to go to rehab or he was fired, and he said no, so he went, and then we know that he ended up where he ended up. Knowing the last thing we know about Saraya is that she was not medically cleared to wrestle because they were fearing for her health. And knowing we've seen nothing from AEW that shows us they show consideration, everything she does feels awkward because we don't know if it's safe. We don't know if she's cleared. We don't know if they even actually clear people. We watched them keep a match going with someone who was clearly pale and concussed. We've seen them drag limp bodies to the finish with that UFC willow tree stiffness because they're just knocked out. And I think that all of that is hampering everything that could have been an excitement about Saraya. The company itself is ruining it because they have no reputation for taking care of people. So we don't know if it's okay. Where if she were to come back to WWE, think about when Daniel Bryan came back, when Edge came back. Everyone cheered because they said, oh my God, they're cleared. Doctors have said it's safe. Saraya comes out and everyone goes, what do you think? What do you think the doctors would say? Like, we have no idea because they haven't made it clear. And I feel like that is hugely impacting and making her return fall flat when it could have otherwise been a massive success. That's just the fault of the company's reputation, in my mind.
Yes, that makes 1,000% sense. Like, it's definitely concerning because, again, we don't know what the hell it is. Like, you literally heard Britt talk about that, you know, that she's not clear, but then she got physical. So it's like, did she just say fuck it and I'm just gonna do it anyway? Like, it's definitely concerning. It's definitely worried. Like, get worried. Like, is she just going against her own doctor's orders? Is she actually clear and we just don't know it? Like, nobody knows a damn thing going on with her, and it is affecting like getting excited for her. Like, why is she here? There is no clear explanation right now.
That's my thought on it. I think I'm trying to defend Saraya in it. It doesn't sound like I'm attacking her, right?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I think I'm trying to defend the idea that everything that's falling flat is the company's fault for what they've set precedent for, and she can't do anything about that.
Nope.
And it sucks. Right. She's in such a tough spot, because if she were to go back to WWE, if she'd gotten cleared to go there, she knows exactly how to talk to that crowd. She knows exactly how to pump them up. The crowd knows what happens behind the scenes enough to know if this is going to be cool or not. Out here, she's guessing that the AEW crowd wants her to shit on that thing or the other, whether she wants to.
I think the boss told her to do it, personally.
Well, I just pulled up an article. So you might be right, because Tony said it's just part of what we are. So Tony Khan has admitted to why his company takes so many shots at WWE on their weekly program. This is from Sportskeeda. I like them. This one's Sam Palmer. Don't know him. Max Catter calling that. Boy, did do it. Speaking to Ariel Helwani. I like that guy. He's a good interviewer. He's fun.
Yeah, but he also made CM Punk look like fucking a bag of diamonds. Fuck that.
Helwani did that?
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, he's going to put over everybody. He never talks shit on anybody.
You should have talked shit on it. You should have told CM Punk, don't do this MMA shit, dude. Talk to these fuckers all the time.
That's a good point. You don't know these MMA guys like I do, dude. They'll kick your ass.
No,
for sure.
Fucking hey. This Mickey guy is going to fucking kill you.
Yeah. Dude, how many fights have you been in? Because these dudes, they fight a lot. Even when you don't know they're fighting, dude. They're fighting.
Yeah. Don't say you fighting with Colt Cabana is like, you know, like, oh, I showed him. No, you showed him nothing. Jesus. Yeah.
So Tony Khan said this. He says, a challenger brand I learned then. What? How does he say this? A challenger brand I learned then 3 years ago. It's not the industry leader. But it is also not a niche brand. It is not that. It is a big company. It is Pepsi to Cola. It is Burger King to McDonald's. What will get Burger King marketing? What is Burger King's marketing? Basically, it's a lot of, hey, McDonald's sucks, guys. So for it, it's not all that, but no. I mean, it's in there. He goes, so for AEW, it's just part of what we are. We're a challenger brand. There's no reason to pretend we're not. That's what you are. Embrace it. That's what he says. So he does say, like, hey, we got to talk shit. Well, I've said it before. I consider all wrestling as competition. Some people ask me why I talk about other wrestling companies, especially WWE, and I'll tell you. It was literally a book handed to me over 3 years ago before the launch of Dynamite by Warner Media at the time, before it was Warner Brothers Discovery. It was telling me what our place was. What our place was already, because Dynamite hadn't launched, but we had carved out a space in the pay-per-view business. They handed me a book. It was about how to be a challenger brand. This is what you are. Oh, so the fucking company said, hey, be a little dick all the time.
No. You're a little dick anyway, but here's my thing. Okay. All right. You're what? You are the Burger King to WWE's McDonald's? Okay, well, Burger King doesn't shit on them, first of all.
They have.
Well, not anymore. But they have.
But...
No. But what I know of Burger King now, hopefully they don't do it. But remember when they were using the fucking King? And it was this like crazy fucking scary ass fucking.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Yeah, it was very terrifying. Okay. And I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck is this? It's scary. Having, that would sway me not to go to Burger King.
Yes.
Okay. So I think right now, a great analogy now here, is right now, the King is Sammy Guevara. And that's basically making a lot of people now, I don't know if I don't think I want to go to Burger King right now.
That's true.
Little
Here's
funky.
The other thing.
Yeah.
As he's talking about being a number 2, Eric Bischoff's always talked about you can either be better than, worse than, or different than. And when you start saying our French fries are better than their French fries, people are going to start buying both your French fries and having them side by side. And you better fucking be better than, because if you're not, then you're worse than. And if you're not, at least different than. I mean, that's why it's cool with like, so one of our places in town that's locally does like strictly crinkle fries. And then you can also go to fucking like Chick-fil-A and get waffle fries. So if someone were to say, hey, I like their fries better than McDonald's fries, people will go, oh, that's because they're waffle fries. It's a different fry. If you get Burger King fries and McDonald's fries and they're the same looking fry, you go, well, this one's worse than that one. The thing is they're trying too hard to look just like the same fry and not be a different type of fry. You know what I mean? And so they're saying, compare us, we're better than. And everyone else is going, they're tasting it and saying, oh, you don't know how to cook. You know what I mean?
It's the chicken sandwich war, okay? Burger King has the old traditional, that weird long one, heavily processed, but I love it. Okay. McDonald's has the McChicken, which they've changed. They tried to compete with Chick-fil-A and make a chicken sandwich with the pickle in it. Chick-fil-A is far above everything else. I don't like their politics, but they've got good sandwiches. And then you've got some places, Jack in the Box, with their different chicken sandwiches. They're the cornucopia of chicken sandwiches. I mean, they have more variety than like Popeyes or KFC when it comes to it. So it's like, okay, if you have all these offerings, which is great and whatnot, it doesn't make you better than. There's some things that can make you worse than. But I might not like the McChicken, okay? I might not like Jack in the Box offerings. Oh, I forgot Wendy's has one too. I might not like Wendy's.
We all have chicken sandwiches. We get it.
All have chicken sandwiches.
You say they all have a chicken sandwich now.
Yeah. So where am I going to go? I'm going to go to the best one.
Yeah.
And for me, that's Chick-fil-A. Like, technically,
which is a good example because you don't like Chick-fil-A's politics or WWE's politics, but it's a tastier sandwich.
Tastier sandwich. Yep, exactly. See, people? You see? And then, like, I could go to Burger King or McDonald's and get frozen Coke, right? Or
all right, that's enough.
What
of
is it? There's
you are stuck.
Where am I going to go? Yeah.
Moving on.
You are stuck on this.
Moving on.
Oh my god.
All
favorite sandwich? Justin's like, I'm fucking hungry now.
I'm fucking hungry.
It's Popeyes for me because I don't have Chick-fil-A here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Popeyes is better anyways.
No, it's not. No.
You know what? On a Sunday, tell me the best chicken sandwich you find.
I will tell you. Want to know what the best chicken sandwich is?
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You got to go to LA for it, though. But I'll tell you.
Go to LA for it? Oh my god, this doesn't count.
Oh my god.
No, you gotta be kidding.
Yeah, you could get Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles. You can get chicken sandwich on a waffle.
Yeah, okay? Roscoe's is great. I've been in there a bunch of times.
Roscoe's is
So to me, that's what's going on with Saraya and why it's not clicking. Is I think that as a fan base, we just don't fucking know if we can trust what we're getting, and we don't know where we're going. We don't know if she's going to be talking. We don't know if she's going to be active. We don't know what to be excited for. Is there anything else happening in AEW that you're excited about at all, Justin?
I am.
What's
that?
One. What, Ricky?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he's not doing shit. Gotta give him time.
They fucking signed Bandito finally.
Oh yeah, they did sign Bandito.
That's
thought you
cool.
would be excited.
Another 6 months before we see him again, but
Yes.
But you know what? There might be a lucha hole there right now because
That's true. So Andrade, this is probably the best stuff. Andrade goes back there and beats the shit out of Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara remains in the main event. Andrade is sent home. I saw some people go like, so it turns out Andrade started the whole thing, so everyone owes Sammy an apology. I was like, it's getting real fucking suspicious how many times we owe Sammy an apology for not starting all these fights he's in. He's the one dude in all the fights. Like
he's an instigator. I
Best
literally
case
just
scenario.
said somebody else's chat right now. It was freaking. I just said Sammy is an instigator. He likes to push everyone's fucking buttons to get someone to want to freaking smack the shit out of him. That's why I said last time Eddie Kingston slapping the shit out of him, well deserved. Andrade punching him in the face, well deserved. But Andrade is also a bad freaking case also because he's got a really big, like, massive fucking ego, which really sucks.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying both of them should have gotten punished for this whole situation. But Tony showed way too much blatant fucking favoritism to Sammy Guevara, and it's bullshit.
It's his old lady sucking his dick.
That's what you read my mind. I said that last night during the show when he was still on the show. I go, oh my God. I was like, what do you freaking bet that Tony's getting some from Ty right now? And I'm like, holy shit.
I mean, he was at the wedding. They had all those pictures together at the wedding and stuff. There's clearly favoritism and stuff. And I think that that's something that, like, we've heard from, Bruce and other podcasts that, like, there's not a ton of stories of guys hanging out with and drinking with Vince because he didn't do it very often. Most of those stories are either on the flights when they're together or these one-off times, like when he tried to get the Legion of Doom to do the fucking their finish on him in a bar. Like, there's a reason that it didn't happen. He tried to get them to do the fucking, what do they call it? Dominator?
The Doomsday Device?
Doomsday Device. He was like, I bet you couldn't do it to me. And the fuck, so they did. Like, but like, he didn't like drink with the guys for another like 15 years because it's all like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You can't be doing this, right? So
yeah,
Tony doesn't have that concept because he's at his greatest birthday bash of all time is hanging out with all these guys. So he's clearly got his favorites and yeah, I think.
And he's blows hot and cold with them.
Yeah.
Look at Joey Janela. Like,
and I think that I think about like Tony or Mike Tyson's quote where it's all like, people talk online like they're like they forget that people get hit in the face for stuff like that. Like, I mean, at this point, Sammy keeps running his mouth like he's on Twitter in front of people, and they're like, no, this is in person, and I can punch you now because what you're saying is stupid, and I can punch you and get away with it.
Sammy's a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, Sammy's a keyboard warrior for sure. That's how he was born and raised. That's his thing. He's been a Twitter entity forever. He doesn't realize that some of these dudes are not about talk. I mean, you can't be a keyboard warrior to Mike Tyson,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Mike Tyson scares the fucking shit out of me.
That's what I'm saying.
I've met him, and it was very scary. Okay.
Sammy just thinks you can tweet at people in real life, and that's not what's going to go down.
And let me tell you, as a person that he fat shames publicly on Twitter, he knows I would fucking beat the shit out of him. Okay? I've scared that fucker. I will. Him, Ocean Spray, I'll fucking get them all. I'll kill them all. Okay? But, it's like he needs to watch his mouth because there's going to be sometime, somewhere, somebody is gonna do something. And he, I don't know what happened. All I know is apparently how the punch was thrown was Sammy had supposedly shoved Andrade. And then, so if you're shoving somebody, that's an open invitation.
Yep.
As far as I've heard, it's been multiple stories again. It's the same thing with the Punk and freaking Elite thing all over again, where there's multiple stories again. It's the same thing. It's literally just when there's multiple stories at that point, you should literally just, instead of punishing one, you punish both.
Small. But Tony won't do that. Why? Because he wants to be the cool boss, He wants to be everybody's best friend until you do something that he doesn't like. And my thing is this, okay? Obviously, Sammy and his old lady, maybe they're doing lines with him in the back. Who knows? I don't know. Weird sex things. I have no idea, I don't know if this is true, so I'm just saying allegedly, so we don't get in trouble here or anybody, but it's interesting that you play these favorites, you get called out on it, people want answers. Okay, there were enough people that all came together that wanted Sammy gone. Okay, and a lot of people still want the answers of why wasn't he punished? Why wasn't anybody punished with this except for Andrade? You sent him home. Okay, well, why did Sammy get to wrestle? And he was the one who fucking got the pin. So leads me to believe that, okay, either, I don't know, maybe Sammy's gay and you two are doing something. I don't know. I don't understand. You know, I don't. Because it seems like all of his favorite people, Britt Baker, Sammy, I don't know, who else is a piece of shit that's like you can name. But when you look at Punk, all these problematic people are his favorites.
Yeah.
You know, and he had to punish Punk. It's like, the bro you brought with you, dude, been a person. What am I supposed to do?
But technically, we don't even know what Punk doesn't even have a punishment yet.
No.
He's literally sitting out his injury right now. So he's not even actually punished.
Yeah.
No,
there's no punishment. And then how do you explain that you have Brandon Cutler all of a sudden back, you know, who was filming, you know, Rampage, an episode of Rampage for this Friday? How do you explain that?
Yeah.
He was there. He was one of these people that you put on punishment. So does that mean the Bucks are coming out? I mean, come on, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I still think Tony should, and as much as it's going to sound kind of fucked up to anybody that would probably think it, but I honestly think Tony needs to strip Kenny and the Bucks of their EVP status after this. So that way it's not, you know, someone won't look at it eventually down the line. And if it happens with them at some point again, it's not like an abuse of power or something like that. Like it would just be like a regular situation kind of thing. Like, I think they need to get rid of them out of the EVP position for that, because but still they need to freaking come up with a punishment for Punk, because they haven't done it yet. It's just him sitting out with his injury right now. And I was talking about it the last time that I honestly believe that that's just what his punishment's going to be, is just him sitting out with his injury. And that's just bull as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read a rumor that people are thinking that the contract's going to be bought out, and another rumor that he's already bought out but had to sign a non-compete for 2 years or something. And I don't know if any of that.
Why would anybody sign him back after that bullshit?
That's just it. Is like, if you could sign a 2-year non-compete with getting paid throughout that entire 2 years, why wouldn't you do it? Because you've got nowhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was it. So whatever you can do to milk the most money out of the dude, you would think you would do. Mm-hmm. And he never gave a shit about any of them in the company anyway, so he would absolutely milk them.
No. But my thing is this, though, with Tony, is for him, it would have been who of him to have, as soon as Cody was gone, because that was the one person I think who was the most active as far as having a role as an EVP for that company. Because I really don't think Kenny did anything.
Oh, hell no.
The Bucks, no. I mean, Dana did a lot. His wife did a lot. I mean, she was the one who did all the merch, and why? Deservedly so, because she was the one who basically helped build that Young Bucks empire, you know, and the elite and all of that, because she was the one who was in charge of it. So decidedly so. That's, you know, whatever. Because right now, if you were to, I swear, I want to ask, if I were to ever see them, Nick or Matt, I'd probably ask Nick, because Nick would probably tell me, I think, more so. But anyways, I'd ask them, did it turn out to be what you thought it was going to be?
And I bet you tell me no. Watch the panels from Starcast that they were at for that first Double or Nothing. Watch the panels, because I was there at all of them. And they were very confident about a lot of things that have not come to pass. And they were very confident a number of things would never happen that have definitely happened. Like, I remember those things.
I'll have to go back and watch.
So it's not even like it's that hidden information. You could tell that I could tell when we walked away from there, Cody and the Bucks were not on the same page to begin with. Cody and Omega were never in the same room. And I was like, the Cody and the Bucks kept both promising different things in opposite directions. And I was like, nobody knows what the vision is. Everyone has their own. Like, it's already going to be a mess. And every single one of them promised things that didn't happen and guaranteed things wouldn't happen that did. Because neither side knew what the other side wanted, and both sides were confident they were going to get the way that they wanted it. So it was never a surprise that it kind of went the way that it went.
Well, and then you had a guy with the money who took full advantage of, I'm getting what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
Hybrid.
The greatest, the greatest meet and greet of all time, as far as he's concerned.
Exactly.
But yeah, right now, everything that everyone's talking about with AEW, I mean, and TMZ's reporting on that shit in the back, and you're all like, this is great. This is what you want when you invite all the fucking, you have the scrums and you invite all the wrestling newsletters to have a presence there to ask the questions. The only time you're getting news coverage is when fucking TMZ is covering all the bullshit that's happening in your locker room, like preferred news source, right? But yeah, so watching 2 weeks of Dynamite, I felt like I really didn't need to watch a lot of it. Most of it I could have seen what I wanted to see on clips, and realistically, I watched a bunch of the clips of stuff I wanted to see before I watched the shows, and then watched the shows days later and thought, let's see what I missed. And I went, everything I wanted and liked was stuff that I sought out already. Like, it's not becoming a full show that you need to see. But if I'm being honest, NXT is not that different right now. Like, if we want to talk NXT, it's very much like, you know what you're going to want to see. I'll say this about NXT as far as like a big pillar difference between them and AEW. I do think that most people on AEW on NXT come off as potential bigger stars in the future than on AEW. On AEW, the presentation you get, you feel like that's going to be what they're going to be forever. With AEW or with NXT, I feel like you can watch someone like Sol Ruka come out and you can go, she could be a big star one day. She might not be, but she could be. She got a lot of potential, and it's kind of fun to watch their first match, right? You see Wesley and Tony D'Angelo, and you know they're both on the come up. You see Tony D take a massive knee injury, and you go, fuck, that sucks. Like, that dude was learning, and he was like on the cusp of really being able to move on and stuff. And then you start realizing that you're rooting for these guys and girls and women in a different way than you're rooting for them on SmackDown or Raw. On SmackDown and Raw, you're watching and you're going like, oh, I want this guy in main event. Oh, I want this guy in a championship thing. With this one, you go, that sucks. He's going to be out and he's going to up. You know what I mean? Like, you're watching this one going like, okay, I can see potential here. Oh, this will be cool. Oh, that person's good. I wonder what they'll do later. It's hard to be super invested in him. I'm liking Joe Gacy still. It's not what it used to be, but I'm liking that he's doing his thing.
Actually, that's a question I had for you. Is who do you think the red hoodie person is? Male or female?
I saw someone speculate that it could be, what's her name? Isla Dawn, I think, from NXT UK, because she had that spooky vibe over there. And I could see that. I could see it being Effie from over there in NXT UK. But outside of that, I honestly feel like it's a woman we forgot was out injured, and I can't figure out who that is.
What person?
There's a woman walking around in NXT in a red sweater and a mask, helping Gacy do stuff.
Handing out buttons with a smiley.
She's handing out buttons, and the only reason you know it's a woman is because clearly there's boobs happening under the sweater, but you can't see hair or skin or anything. You just see a mask and hoodie. And when you look at the person, you can see the body type is that of a woman, and so you go, oh, who is she? So those two potential, you know who it could be? Could be Aaliyah James. If you remember, I was going through the roster last night with Bishop as he came on to grace us with his terribleness yesterday. And when I was going through the roster of WWE talent to see, like, we want to see theoretically what Edge dream matches could there possibly be. And that's a whole conversation I have with Bishop on the roster. What matches could be a dream match? As I was going through, I remember scrolling through and went, Aaliyah James is still in here? She was a very young woman in NXT UK that somehow was not a champion and somehow did not get released during the folding of NXT UK and has not shown up on NXT. And she was really good and really young, had a lot of promise, and so that wouldn't be a total shock if I'm being honest.
I was gonna guess Rika Tahaka, but I think she took a picture of SmackDown, so.
Yeah, she did.
So.
She did. That's the Samoan woman who showed up.
Yep.
So my best guess is someone from NXT UK, but something about my gut tells me it could very well be an injured woman who we forgot got injured.
Yeah.
Do you guys have theories? What's your theory?
It's tough to put a name to it, really. Like, it's so hard to think who it is, but like, I'm still kind of interested in it.
Yeah.
Like, just the whole little bit that we've seen of it, like where this person went up to the table when the dyad had the table, and they've gone up there twice, and then they've had multiple backstage just like interactions with people, and I'm just like, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, last time they were in the ring cutting the promo, you saw them standing up in the top of the crowd, and I'm like, I'm liking the little bits here of it. Like, wait to see who is unmasked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have any guesses? Either of you?
I mean,
or you kind of just
No, because it's one of those things where it could go any way.
Yeah.
And this one is harder to guess than I think that Grizzled Young Vets was easy. That for me, that was a real easy one.
Yeah, you nailed that right away, and it was very frustrating for the rest of us.
Yeah.
I think Isla would be a very interesting addition to there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she had that whole like witchcraft thing going on, and it'd be kind of interesting to see that kind of mixed with Joe Gacy. Like, I'd be for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah, as I keep going, I mean, Wesley, obviously you want good things, but like it just feels like that where in the main roster the top is the top. And could I see them at WrestleMania, and what championship do I want them to have? In NXT, I mean, look at Solo Sikoa. What did he ever win in NXT? You know what I mean? It's like in Talladega Nights. What did you ever do? Ever. Piss excellence.
It makes sense.
You know what I mean? He didn't do shit in NXT except refine his character and be a badass. He lost all the important matches. He was already in the bloodline making waves when they said, hey, let's have him win the North American title for no reason and then forfeit it up for another no reason. So you can't even give that title to him as a accomplishment in NXT. He went back to NXT to win the title he never won while he was there, and it's not even the top title. So it's also like, and then look at what he's doing on the main roster. He's fucking killing it. He's a badass. And, I mean, like, he's, with all due respect to everybody, he's like the second coming of Umaga. Like, he's an assassin, you know? So you don't even need... So there's not even this thought here where it's all like, oh, Braun Breaker's the champion, therefore. Or it's not even like, oh, Wesley's doing this, I just wish he would be NXT champion. You just go, nah, I just want him to get good enough to not be here anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Go with SmackDown now.
Yeah. The problem is with Sikoa, unfortunately, when he came up into NXT, that's when Braun Breaker came up.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. That's all secondary.
Because you see that, and then you see like, okay, LA Knight didn't do anything like great, and they moved him. And then you're like, okay, well then there's like Cameron Grimes is still there. Look at fucking Carmelo Hayes. I'm like, that was way beyond him being there. I mean, I think it took Legato way too long to go. And now, like with Carmelo, it's like, dude, way too long. Way too long.
Yeah, but that's what I mean is like, to me, that it's becoming identifiable in the feeling and the booking of NXT that you just go, oh, these ones aren't typically as good, right? The goal is to not be here, which is also interesting because I think one of my absolute favorites in NXT right now is Mandy Rose, and I know Justin hates that. But I think what she's done to her own character has been such that she could drop the title and show up in the main event at Hell in a Cell at any given week, and it wouldn't shock me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, she's done so much for her character and those around her. I think that, like, she's one that I still keep track of. I'm still paying attention to her matches. I think she's still having good matches. Ilya Dragunov, seeing him over there has been cool. But I don't know what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, I think Nikita's getting a lot better.
Yeah, but
I don't think she was ever like trash, but she's getting like good.
But they're pigeonholing Zoe Stark though.
Yes.
That I don't like.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Caden and Quintana are coming off as a pretty legit team, which I like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm loving the promo that they did with them about, being together and working really hard. I think that was very appropriately timed.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. Oh, I'm loving everything Grayson Waller's doing.
Oh yeah, Grayson Waller's the man.
He's so fucking good.
Yeah.
My guy, right there.
The way he hosted the Waller effect with, by the way, Cora and Roxanne were also killing it. Those two, I'm like watching. Yeah. Like, what are they doing? I need to watch this week. Like, I don't miss a segment that they're in. Mandy Rose, I don't miss a segment they're in. Toxic Attraction, depends. I might watch the match depending on who it is. I might not watch the other. I'm excited for them, but I'm ready for them to move on. They're in a point where they got to go. But Grayson Waller, the way he handled the Waller effect when Cora and Roxanne were doing it, I loved when he would just start like losing his shit for no reason. Like he was yelling at them without being like a piece of like he was being a dick, but he wasn't being like a patronizing shit. You know what I mean? He was just being an egotistical asshole, which is different. He wasn't like talking down to them because they're women. He was talking loud at them because he's the focus. You're not paying attention to me. He's like, if you stopped interrupting me, he's like, you're interrupting me for the second time. Like, the way he was, like, yelling at them, I thought was so perfectly done because it's also probably a difficult balance. You know what I mean? Like, he is an older male around two young female. It could easily come down to, like, look at this dude talking shit to these women just because he's being dismissive of them because they're women. No. He was being egotistical and being focused on himself and was mad that they weren't focused on him. How are you not paying attention to me? I'm me. You know what I mean?
I'm still waiting for Bear to become champion. I cannot wait. Want it so bad, and I'm so mad he's not in the ladder match.
Yeah, the fact he's not in there, but everyone else is who's in there, I was kind of like... I was looking at the thing today, because when Von Wagner won and the whole list came up, I went, huh. Like, you've got like 4 out of 6 already, and I'm all like, oh, it was... Like, so who's in it?
Yeah. And I can do with them without, like, the last 2 weeks. I mean, can you not push Chase U down my throat, please?
Chase, I don't even watch anymore.
I never did.
Are you into Chase U over there?
Oh, God.
I love Chase U.
Oh, God, why?
It's so entertaining. I love it to death right now. It is great.
You know what would make me like it? If he admitted that his character is based off of EC3, I would love it all of a sudden. I'd say I can't miss him. If he said, I've watched everything EC3 does, I am obsessed with CYN, and that is everything that Chase University is.
I think it's entertaining as
if he did Chase U Network and made CUN, I would be so fucking into it.
Oh, please. That'd be so good.
No.
My only issue with Andre Chase is his in-ring stuff. He comes off just so, like, weak when he freaking wrestles. Like, some of his strikes look incredibly weak. Like, some of the stuff he does just looks really weak. And I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah. But other than that, it's entertaining as hell. I just love it. I love Theus running around just freaking all excited and I just love it. I love the Chase U, like, roll call every time during the matches. I love it.
God,
it's just
entertaining.
No.
I like seeing the Brutes back, but I didn't like that they were up against Pretty Deadly, so I didn't get to see much of what they do. I was like, oh, that's cool they're here. And then I was like, Pretty Deadly. I was like, skip.
That segment at the beginning was awful.
That was horrible. That was absolutely trash.
I watched it with the mute on and thought it was terrible and went on too long. And I didn't hear a single word of it.
You were right.
It was really bad. Like, it was just them taking digs at the teams and everything, and then, like, just like how it led to the ending and then beating the Brawling Brutes and then having them just in the beginning say they have no competition, but then all of a sudden have Briggs and Jensen step up and all these other teams just step up, and it's like, you just said that you guys didn't have any competition and now you got competition. It was just really stupid segment.
dumb.
What'd you guys think about Veer Mahan coming back and seemingly pairing back up with Senga, but this time instead of being Aboriginals and savages, they are businessmen?
They look the same almost.
Yeah, that was weird.
But they've always looked pretty close to the same because the way they have their hair and beard.
But they also, the two of them looked puzzled too. On top of it, because I was like, was that supposed to be?
They both look confused.
Yeah,
they're like, "You got a suit too? Because I got a suit. How did you get a suit?
You got a chain." Yeah, no.
Yeah,
we both got a beard. Like, interesting.
Well, because you know that they were a tag team before, right, Justin? You remember that?
Were they?
They were a tag team before when Veer came up. Remember how Veer had the face paint, the lines and the red on his head? They both had that, and they were in a tag team for a short period of time. They were originally managed by Malcolm Bivens during the.
That was them? No, I thought
them.
I thought the one guy that was teaming with Veer got released, and Sanga's just a whole different guy. I thought.
No, I thought that was both of them.
No, I think Sanga's just.
I thought that the rumor was that he got released, but I thought it turned out he didn't.
I thought he did. That's what I've heard. Like, he got released. Like, the one guy got released.
Yeah,
Veer was left by himself and then paired with Shanky and Jinder. But now he's teamed with Sanga, and Sanga's just a whole different guy as far as I know. But
yeah, that's what I thought too.
Let's see. Let me look up Malcolm Bivens. Bivens tag team.
Yeah, the whole thing. I hope this is something to get me interested in Veer, because I'm not interested. I haven't been interested in Veer, but this is some way to do it because I like Sanga. I don't know what it is. I like Sanga. I mean, the man's got a mustache that draws the ladies in. Come on.
Yeah. Sanga's got this. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
that mustache does some wonders right there. Like, my God.
It's pretty magical. I don't know why.
There's something about him.
Sanga is Guraj. That's them, dude. That is them.
Oh.
That's the two of them. The rumor was on the dirt sheets that the guy got fired. Turns out he didn't because the dirt sheets are wrong and you buy into it because you're a mark. I'm just kidding.
I don't buy into
that. That's them. They were the tag team. So I really like that they're putting together. I think this might be a really good thing for Veer because we said from early on, I believe it was episode 1, his stuff he was doing on Raw just didn't seem to work right, especially when you looked at his social media and especially when you know how charismatic he actually is. And when you read about his story, you're like, why are they just making him do this thing? So I think this could actually be really good for Veer, to be honest.
I hope it works because I want to be interested in Veer because like I said, I like Sanga. So let's see if we can get the other half.
And you know Veer's story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a Disney movie about him. Like, you might as well have a suit on, dude. Like, fuck, forget it. The other thing... What was the other thing that happened in NXT? Then I'll see if you guys want to talk about other things.
Wendy Chu.
Wendy Chu had a good match. It was against Lash Legend. It was fine, but she's not doing anything. Like, when Wendy was picking on Tiffany, it was cool because she was doing a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
but
just
Wendy's just around.
Well, she's around, and it's like, okay, Lash Legend is, you know, and it's like, okay, who we can get her? Who's gonna get her? Oh, let's just use Wendy. But you know, but it's kind of like, it's, to me, it's great how like that character is really beloved by that weird picky crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, nothing wrong with what she's doing. She's just not doing anything. She's just around.
I know.
Pops up. Her music kicks on, and I love it. And I start dancing to the music.
Oh, I do too.
I love that music and stuff. And I think that her, as much as I probably should hate everything she's doing, I can't help but love everything she's doing.
Yeah, yeah. I know you're a big. I don't like this comedy bullshit, but it's the way she does it. And I will say this: if we're going on the Jericho cruise, there's a night where you dress up as like a wrestler. I am going as Wendy Chu.
I could go as AJ. I still have the vest. I can go as Fat AJ.
Nice.
Yeah. Find Orange Cassidy if he's there, and then we can do the closest to the two of them as like next to each other.
What?
It'd be great.
What do you mean?
Because I still think Wendy Chu comes off like a female Orange Cassidy sometimes.
No.
So
yeah, I know what you mean.
She's comedy, but she can turn it up when she wants to. But it's like
here's the difference. Okay. she's got a whole bag. She's not just like Orange Cassidy's like 5, you know, lazy moves of not even doom. I don't even know what to call it, but the 5 lazy moves. You know, she's got a whole bag of tricks.
That's true. I would say the big difference. Go ahead, Justin.
Imagine if Wendy did that stuff. Like she did the lazy moves at first like that, and then it just kind of made her fall asleep. Right there.
Well, she does the one slam where she goes like that.
Yeah.
I would probably laugh. She just does like the lazy moves and it just wears her out and she just goes to sleep.
That would be my favorite. Like a trust fall, like, oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That'd be great.
She starts throwing the weak kicks in and stuff like that, and all of a sudden she just goes, "Oh, I'm so tired," and just falls over. I'd just be like, "That's hysterical."
Yeah.
See, I do think the big difference between the two, though, because I've seen them be compared before. Orange Cassidy comes off as not the guy, but the character comes off as somebody who just doesn't give a shit, just doesn't care, doesn't want to be there, is only kind of there because he needs to be, and guess he doesn't really want to lose, but he doesn't care if he wins or not. Where Wendy comes off as somebody who puts comfort first. She's a very sleepy person. Yeah, all of her weirdness comes from being comfortable first and foremost. A lot of her character is just like, if I can nap, I'm gonna nap. You know, like wake me up when it's time for my match. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the thing. And so I think that's why it kind of works in a different way, because it doesn't come off like she doesn't care. It just comes off like, well, just wake me up when I got to do it. I don't want to miss it. I care enough to go, but like, you know, set my alarm because I'm going to sleep beforehand. I don't want to be like tired.
Yeah. And her character is kind of empowering in a weird way with, you know, like women of, you can be weird and different and whatnot. You don't have to be like these other people. It's totally fine. And that also comes across too.
Yeah.
I think my only little issue with it was how she talked about like she was going to bring out her evil side against Lash Legend, but then really bring an evil side out to her. She just kind of was herself. I was like,
she didn't have anything to, like with Tiffany Stratton, there was built that was built up. This one didn't have time to develop that way, so that's what was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Bring back Mei Ying one time.
That just saddens me that never came into fruition.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. That could have done some cool stuff.
They could have done cool shit with Mako.
Yeah.
Final Boss. Yeah, that would have been badass shit.
Xia Li and Mako together.
Yeah, that would have been some badass shit. But you know,
that'd be sick.
I like the sound of that.
What do you guys think of Quincy? He came out and he saved Hank, who was Hank lost to Zion. Zion kept beating off Hank, and then Quincy comes out and saves the day. But then, like, realistically, he like sexually harasses Hank, and everyone goes, "Isn't that great?"
No,
like, he slapped Hank on the ass. And then kind of grinds and dances on Hank a little bit and like winks. And Hank's like, "Oh, that's crazy." And everyone's all like, "Oh, what are you going to do?" You know, he's like that. And you go, if that was a dude doing that to a woman, we'd have a whole lot more. If that same thing happened earlier with Grayson and Roxanne, there'd be a whole lot more Twitter talk. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If Grayson did the exact same thing to Roxanne that Quincy just did to Hank, or... you know what I mean? Like, why is this okay? I think is my question. It feels like pandering to make it okay. Does that make sense?
It's never okay.
It's never okay. That's what I mean. Like,
from someone who's grabbed some peaches before.
That's true.
Never okay. And I think I'm probably the good soundboard of that. Yeah. That it's never okay. Now, I think what they're trying to say is they're trying to, in a really not very politically correct way, saying it's okay to, you know, it's okay to be gay, but that's not the way you go around it. You don't, because now you're setting the precedence that gay people like to grab people's butts, you know.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I swear to God, Tony Khan, if you think you're copying whatever and someone tries to go grab Ricky Starks in the ass, I'm gonna go find you, dude, and fucking just slap you across the face. You do not do that. You do not do that. Okay, even back in the day when he had the little trunk pull down thing, no one slapped that ass. No, no, you don't do that. They're just, man on woman, man on man, woman on. You don't do that. You do not do that.
If it's not invited, right? That's the whole point. And so that's
exactly.
what I mean. Like, to me, it comes off as pandering. It's not flirting. It's pandering to say it's okay because he's gay. No. That comes off as all like, oh, you can do things that's not acceptable, because it seems like a really pandering way to do it and a real patronizing way to respond to someone's sexuality. Is just being like, oh, because you're that way, we're going to excuse all the inappropriateness, as opposed to just saying, can't we just all coexist in a way where we don't assault people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if it's supposed to be friendly, right? Because they're not adversaries here. Yeah, like Goldust did it to anger Razor Ramon. And that was part of the gimmick. It was like he was doing it to upset his opponent and play mind games. This one, he's doing it to endear a tag team partner. And it's like, if we can say that Goldust probably shouldn't have happened, it wouldn't happen nowadays, and only worked because the guy who did it is just that good. And we know at the time that a lot of people refused to work with him because they didn't like how the whole thing was happening anyways. Then what the fuck is this?
I know.
Just
the Joey Ryan shit, that's not okay. That was not okay.
Yeah.
We think now, oh God, that's disgusting. It was never okay. You know, in my opinion, it was like, okay, it was cool. It went viral. It's just because everybody's obsessed into, you know, something that is taboo. But then when push comes to shove, oh no, it's wrong. You know, so no, just don't do it. It's not acceptable either way. I didn't ever like the crotch grab thing myself. I was always uncomfortable with that because, you know.
I never liked it. Yeah, ever since our literal episode 1, I was talking shit about that guy and everything he did, and other people on the show were like, well, here's what you're not getting, this is what makes it okay, and I was like, I don't feel right about it. Justin, what were you about to say? That
he's just eccentric to be eccentric at this point. Like, I don't really know what else to really say about the character. Like, it's like I said, I haven't seen much of him really enough to really say anything about him anymore. Like,
I don't even mind being eccentric, but
but being eccentric doesn't say, oh, you can grab someone's ass or pat his ass or whatever.
Yeah, like that's different. That's that's sexually aggressive. And that's all I mean, is that, like, I wouldn't have liked that if Grayson did that to Roxanne. I would not have liked that if Cora did that to Braun Breaker out there. And they haven't established anything. They're together, so probably they wouldn't mind. But, you know.
It's like Guevara and his old lady, okay? They push that envelope. You know, like something like grabby, and I'm like, can you not because I'm not being a hater. I'm but like,
also, they're also together, and so you know that there's a welcomeness to it.
Yeah, there's a welcomeness to it, but also the way they do it is kind of creepy too.
Yes, they do it terribly and creepy because they're trying to make people uncomfortable, and I get that. But they're together, so you know it's like welcomed.
That's their normal, though.
I mean, it probably is. But this is like a straight dude minding his own business and a gay dude being sexually aggressive and physical. And I don't think that's any better than a straight couple having a similar interaction. You know what I mean? Like, do you want one side to be sexually pushy and aggressive towards another side? Like, it just, to me, I felt like, what the fuck are we doing? What is this for? Like, eccentric is fine. Everything about Quincy is fine. But that stuff was like, what makes that okay?
Yeah. I think, is Quincy their answer to Effie?
I think so.
A PG Effie?
I absolutely think so.
But Effie is fantastic.
I do like Hank.
I do like Hank too.
I'm debating. I still haven't really been into him yet.
But poor Hank.
On Hank?
Yeah, I'm still not sold on him yet.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah.
He's
not
like
on him yet. Like, he's still got that whole, like, doesn't seem like he's very good at talking. Still kind of in ring wise, like.
You know what I think Hank is? I think Hank is Hangman Page.
AEW roster?
I think he's Hangman Page. I think he's the everyman.
I think you're right.
I think he's the everyman underdog who is a bit scrappy. He stands up for what he believes is right. He's a little uncomfortable out there. He doesn't. He's I mean, he's got a little bit of a gut thing going on because he's clearly lost a lot of weight at a certain point. He clearly was bigger and got some of that loose skin, and so he's like tries to cover up, but the fight gets out of hand, and at a certain point, he's got to fight to survive, and you know his insecurities go out the window, and his shirt comes off, and I think he's the Hangman Page.
I see that.
Interesting.
He's not quite a cowboy though, but I bet you he gets a shirt that says blue collar shit by the end of the year. I'm just kidding.
God, if you get a shirt that says blue collar shit, you better get some fucking royalties out of that.
Well, they took my honorary Ooze shirt, and then now they're doing a contest where if you design a shirt, they'll give you a trip to Royal Rumble. And I said I already did that 6 months ago. Give me my trip to Royal Rumble.
Oh man, that just is salt in the wounds, man.
I know.
Salt in the wounds. Yeah. Salt in the wounds. You should tweet that at them. Say, look, you ripped off this. Where's my Royal Rumble trip?
Yeah, where's my Rumble trip?
Yeah, you should. Do it. Do it.
I gotta dig up old tweets to find it.
Or you can go, yo. Or you can go, yo, you know what? If you're not going to send me the Rumble, give me some WrestleMania LA tickets.
Yeah, just put me up at WrestleMania. It's no big deal. We'll call it square. Give me a box.
Yeah.
Was there anything else in NXT that you guys are like? Because like I said, I feel like it's such a sporadic. I watch everything that Cora and Roxanne do. I watch everything Grayson does, and then there's just people that I check out sometimes.
That's kind of how I feel about the show. Like, I kind of just pay attention to some stuff, and then just go, yeah, this is there, this is on here, this is that, and that's really about it.
I feel like right now SmackDown and Raw are doing the best jobs of having shows that feel like so much is happening you really kind of have to watch the full show.
Yeah.
And I feel like AEW's really like threads are really loosening here, and I feel like they got to tighten that shit up.
They're not going to.
We said it on our show, the middle shows seem to be like kind of the weaker shows of the week anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and they were usually the better ones. Now all of a sudden they're the weaker ones.
Yeah. I started thinking about it too. When you think about Shawn Michaels, with all due respect, he's a legend. He's in a lot of people's Mount Rushmore of best in-ring workers of all time. No one's ever accused him of having an amazing wrestling mind or an amazing mind for the business or an incredible booking mentality. No one used him as a consultant the way they talked about using Jake the Snake or Scott Hall. No one says like, oh yeah, that guy was never quite here, but his mind is incredible for the business. You know what I mean? When people talk about Terry Taylor and Michael P.S. Hayes, well, Michael P.S. Hayes also filled houses back in the day in the territories. He was a motherfucker. You know, people talk about the mind of Pat Patterson, obviously, right? Gerald Briscoe. No one's ever said any of that stuff about Shawn. And I feel like a lot of what we're seeing in NXT and in Gargano is a lot of that he knows what got him over. He knows what he likes, but he doesn't have a mind for the whole thing. You know what I mean? So you get this weird sporadic this and that and try this and this worked for me and I don't know, like it's a little more aimless. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've been questioning it too because he's made some really questionable stuff like recently, like the whole, you know, stripping Solo of the title, like which was just nonsense and just he's made some really weird decisions lately, and it's like you can see that this just isn't something Shawn's accustomed to doing.
Yeah, right. It just feels like with as good as he was, I mean, they even talked about it when they put him on commentary once or twice when he was injured, because they wanted to see what he would do, and he goes, "Well, he was terrible at commentary." And we're like, "What makes you say what was that judgment?" And they said, "Well, he doesn't know how to put someone else over. He knows how to put himself over. So he's on commentary and he's injured and he's talking about how good he is. He doesn't know how to talk about how good other people are or how that guy's cheating or any of that stuff." He's like, his mind was always very one-sided. It was one of the reasons that Brett hated him. His mind was always super one-sided. What's best for me, not what's best for business. What does the whole show need? What do we need? It's this what I'm doing, what works for me, and this is what I'm gonna do. And I don't care about the rest of the show or how it works. So I wonder if now that he's in charge of a whole show, that it's just an interesting, strange juggle that he's never really thought about in the same way. And I feel like that's kind of why it's starting to, I don't want to say like fall apart, but it's definitely drifting apart. You know what I mean? It's not crumbling out beneath it, but it's definitely like becoming a little more discombobulated.
It's just weird because he was around Triple H, like when he first went down there, and then it's just like he's booking stuff his way instead of, you know, the way, like, thinking of how, like, Triple H would book stuff, and it's just weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Was there anything else in any of the shows you guys wanted to talk about?
Not that I know of. Like,
no, because
NXT doesn't really have a lot of, like, substance really going on with it right now.
It was cool seeing Juice Robinson have that match. I don't think they did a very good job of explaining why it was cool. And they could have easily put together a small video package that would have let you know about their history that they had in Japan against each other. Even if you didn't know everything about Juice. Juice is the one that, if I remember right, Mox took the U.S. title off of, wasn't it? Yeah. So they got that history, but it really felt like a token championship match for Toni Storm's boyfriend. When it didn't have to feel that way. It could have felt like an important rematch from a feud in Japan with just a simple video package they could have done that would have taken a minute and a half. And so that bummed me out. I was like, he's just kind of walking out. I was like, that sucks, because, like, to me, this is pretty cool.
And also, Juice Robinson is one of those ones that, like, I was underwhelmed with the match. I'll be honest.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't as good as I was hoping.
I love Juice. Okay, I love him. I was looking forward to it, and I was like, oh no, okay, it's bad. But yeah, no, there's a lot of things that could be done. But again, who's the one at the helm? He makes a lot of things that should feel important, not important at all. You know, and I don't give a shit.
Presentation, which Tony doesn't always do correctly.
No. And then you have people like, okay, so when Starks and Hobbs had their match and you saw the video package that Ricky did, you know how long that's been on the shelf? It's been on the shelf for over a year and a half, almost this whole run. He filmed that literally, I want to say maybe 6-7 months after he was signed. That's how long that one's been sitting on the shelf. So people are like, oh, this is great, he just filmed it. No, he filmed this a long ass time ago. There's just nothing because he was not being used. There was no reason to show any of that or the full of it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Now it's there. So it makes you wonder how many other ones does he have in the shelf, which I'm pretty sure he's probably got, since he has money now, he's probably got quite a few of them that we'll probably never see. But if I were him, I would just put it out there, because you know what? If your boss ain't going to do it, because what are you doing now? Who are you going to face next? There's nobody.
Or maybe he holds on to him till real close to the end of his contract, starts putting them all out, and starts trying to leverage his second contract or a higher contract or a contract from someone else. You know what I mean? Start leveraging a bidding war. My
thing is, I don't think if he's still on his trajectory of what he's had in AEW, he ain't going to stay. No. Because, he's not going to stay.
Go ahead. Was it Justin?
I hope he doesn't stay. I want Ricky out of it.
I wanted him out of there. Like, when Cody left, I'm like, I hope you didn't sign again, because you're going to get fed promises again that aren't going to come true. And at least Cody can vouch for you. And right now, you weren't, when he went to the Performance Center 3 times and was told no 3 different times, that was a different regime. The kind of guy he is now, that's a Triple H kind of guy. That was the kind of guy that Regal was scouting for when he would go to, like, PWG. That was the guy. And actually, I believe I told him that too.
No, and even then, not only is it a different regime looking, Ricky's a higher caliber talent now. He's been perfecting his, you know what I mean? Like, he's better than he was then. So, like, even
absolutely. He will tell you no, he's still the same. I'm like, no, you've gotten a lot better.
He's gotten
with things. Yeah,
he's
you can't.
Way too good to be sitting on the sidelines like that.
Exactly. Hobbs is okay. Those guys will make him. There's enough people there that'll make sure that guy's a fucking star.
Yeah.
Ricky doesn't have that in his corner anymore.
I don't even know if they have that in them at all. Like, I mean, look at Wardlow. He should be a big star right now. And they don't know how to keep someone hot. I don't know, but that's a whole other conversation.
No, but Wardlow. But I'll go there. Wardlow. Man, Wardlow, this match with like Brian Cage, I am sorry. Wardlow's a strong dude. Okay. I'll admit that. But like Brian Cage should not have been dismissed the way short of a time with that. It was okay at first, and then I'm like, well, okay, we got to make Wardlow look strong. I'm like, where the hell is Hobbs? Yeah. Because these guys could have epic wars, and it make it interesting, And I think that would elevate even Wardlow too, even if he lost to Hobbs. No, it doesn't mean he's weak. No, it just means.
Well, but they don't. I mean, apart from being strong, they have a hard time keeping them feeling hot. What were you about to say, Justin?
That besides Ricky, like I think Hobbs is freaking awesome. Like, but I think he would be better with like to get the hell out of there too, because like he's another one that they don't put on TV enough, and it just sucks because he comes off so likable and you want to see him and he can do so much better, but it's like, how do you freaking get better when you're not even getting any TV time like he was at all? Like he just gets these 2.5 second squash matches and it's like, well, what the hell? Wow, what a waste of time.
But if you look at Hobbs, like if there's anybody from the moment they stepped into AEW to now, I think that Hobbs is the one who was definitely, it's night and day.
Well, they're definitely going to try and take care of him, but I kind of agree with Justin that like I feel like that my fear is that too many guys who are going to be loyal to quote the one that gave them a chance are going to miss out on the possibility of the level of stardom and fortune that they could get otherwise, right? Like I've said it before about Hammerstone. My biggest fear for Hammerstone is he's going to be so loyal to MLW that he's going to miss his window to be bigger than MLW. That's not to say that he's not happy where he is, and I don't know what's best for him. And if he's happy, I'm happy. And it just comes from the dumb fan perspective. That's what we have, a dumb fan perspective. I don't know what's best for Hammerstone. He does. But me, as a dude who likes action figures and TV shows, I go, man, I want Hammerstone in this action figure series that I like more. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down for, is I want him to make more money on bigger platforms and bigger shows. And I want to see him merchandised in a way that I can indulge in it even more. Not that he doesn't have shirts on MLW.com/shirts or shop or whatever. But it's just it's that whole thing where it's like his loyalty to the people who gave him a chance could potentially close a window that could have been a bigger launching pad. And I feel like that's possible for a guy like Powerhouse Hobbs too, that he might allow a window to close that could ultimately hurt him. You know what I mean? And hopefully these guys are all young enough, and I'm assuming they're all smarter than me, and I'm not saying I know what's best. I'm not some of those idiots that yell in here and be like, I don't know anything. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just want what's best for them, and I make my guess based off what I see, but they make their decisions based off what they know. So I will never knock a dude like a Hammerstone for signing for MLW over and over again. I go, it must be what's best for him. What do I know, right? But I just always go, man, I want to see him on a WrestleMania poster because I'm selfish and I want him there.
Oh yeah, this is no dig at MLW, but Hammerstone deserves a way bigger platform than just being stuck in MLW. That man is fantastic, and I congratulate him for the 1 year freaking reigns world champ. That is fucking awesome.
So cool, and an awesome dude. I've met him a couple times. Really nice.
But that goes for Jacob too as well. That guy's another one who should be on a bigger platform.
Jacob, I don't understand how he's not part of the bloodline already. I do agree with the sentiment I've heard before that potentially Jacob Fatu should be in solo spot right now. I totally agree with he would absolutely work in that spot. Easily. He could be that quiet assassin, mean motherfucker. Because he also looks like the type of dude that you just go, fuck, dude, leave him alone. Like, don't talk to him. Like, he looks mean. Even though he's super nice, he looks fucking mean. Where Solo looks kind of nice. But then he makes mean face and does mean things in the ring. And you go, oh, wait, never mind. So I I can understand the criticism, but I'm not in any way upset that it's Solo. The Solo's the guy, you know?
Yeah.
Anything else? Did you want to? I was just using Hammerstone as an example. Talk about those other guys. And again, congratulations on the 1 year. And you guys know what's best, not us. And we're not going to pretend that we do. Anything else that you want to throw out there at all? Or are you ready for last call?
I think we're good for last call.
I think so too. I think MsAmandaJayne
disappeared
early. Yeah, she did her thing. You should have seen all the technical difficulties earlier, Justin.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I did. It was bad. That's why you're getting a lot of shit.
How many drinks did you have to take for technical difficulties?
10 minutes worth of drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
But anything else that you want to throw out there, Amanda? Are you ready for last call?
No. The only thing, because I heard you guys were talking about Jacob Fatu, and I about he should be in Solo spot. I totally agree 1,000%, but a lot of it was, it was political for a while.
Yeah.
Could he be another part of that bloodline? He should be.
Yeah.
But who knows? Now that Triple H is there, it could happen.
Also, just because he's not in that spot now that we know he could work in, you can have the Usos and then also another tag team that's also
related and have that family fight, like a family feud.
Samoan SWAT team? Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can do a Samoan SWAT team inside the bloodline. That's just fine. Like, you can have two tag teams.
Yeah.
You know
they have enough people with their last name that are in the business or, whatever. There's enough of them around.
Can you imagine, too? Because the bloodline's been like 3 people for so long that now they got this 4th one. Imagine if it was a slow build NWO style with the family. You get Jacob and Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? Vince.
Mm-hmm.
You can
and
have
forbid, women, God forbid.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. God forbid.
Bring Tamina into it, and you start having this crazy force that you just go, wait a second.
What the hell is
this
going
isn't
on here?
Fair.
Is this all of Samoa over here? Like, what is going on? Does every single Samoan Islander what's going on here?
Yeah.
Just think Roman is the tribal chief, but if he's just like, you know what, I don't need to handle this. He just looks over at Jacob and just goes, go handle it. Like, everybody would be running for fucking cover. That guy would just be like, anyone looks at him and just goes, nope, I'm not dealing with that. No.
You could get another 2 years out of a Roman Reigns title run if he brought in Jacob on top of Solo and even like a Vincent and Tamina. Like, if you brought them all in, you could easily have Roman just commanding his soldiers and have Roman fucking wrestling 4 times a year for 2 more years, believably, where people just go, yeah, well, what the fuck are you going to do? They're all monsters. What are you going to do? You're going to beat them up? Good luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so many people to get through to me.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
That could be
but if that happens, you need some royalties all up in there for this man.
Yeah, I need that. And then you can have a second honorary Oos in Hammerstone. You could be the second honorary Oos.
And then the honoraries, and then I could see the honoraries teaming up together, getting pissed at the Oos because they feel like, they're,
dissension.
Yeah.
May not be that invested in the bloodline stuff that much anymore, but like, give me little bits of something to get me kind of interested like that. And I will be.
Oh yeah.
We could bring you back. All right, guys, let's do last call.
Right.
It's been a good night with some drinking buddies. It's been nice catching up. It was good that JustinTIME finally made it in, just in time. Justin, you want to tell people where they can find your pod?
You can find me on Twitter at JustinTIME211. You can find the In Time Wrestling Podcast wherever the heck you can find it. Not gonna give you names because can't really name every spot that you can find it. But if you find it, listen to it. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Like, we do classic reviews, we do current reviews, we just talk whatever at this point. Like, it's just 2 brothers ranting and chatting wrestling. If you enjoy it,
have guests on, right?
Not yet. Like I said, we'll eventually get to guests, and I'm telling you, it'll be Never lie. Yeah, dropped a new episode just recently. We got Spring Stampede 2000 for a classic review. And of course, if you didn't check out that one, we got, I'll just spoil this one now. The next classic pay-per-view is going to be Super Showdown 2019. So got to relive The Undertaker and Goldberg again, which scared death to rewatch that show because that was
but
rough.
with hindsight, it should be even better because you should be able to catch so much worse shit than you saw the first time. Because first time it was all happening in the moment, and you're like, oh my god, wait, that couldn't have been. Now you know what it was. Now you can watch it and just be like, oh god, you might see way more. You know.
So we'll have Extreme Rules recap on Sunday as well. So keep your eyes.
Yeah, when you guys doing those older shows, you could just anytime you're just bored with your brother, you just sit there and put on a pay-per-view and turn on a mic and just get some for the can. You know what I mean? Like, why not? You can schedule ones out. Like, you can have like 11 in there just because you're like, guys are bored just going through old pay-per-views.
Yeah,
you know
we're enjoying the classic pay-per-views. Like, we enjoy doing the current stuff, but like we're kind of enjoying the classic stuff just a little bit more right now. So
I wonder if I should like send you like at least some digital copies of like some DVD stuff because I've got like a bunch of Bruiser Brody matches. I got a bunch of old Memphis stuff. That could be cool for you guys to watch and talk about.
Interesting.
Did you guys ever see much of the Andy Kaufman Lawler stuff?
No, I've only seen like a couple bits of that. Like I had a DVD that talked about Jerry Lawler and stuff, and it talked about that feud, and I saw like
what was
clips
the DVD?
Here and there. It was like Wrestling Stars of the 80s or something like that.
And did it talk about it the whole DVD or just a small portion?
Just small portions of it.
All right, so don't look up anything. I'm gonna find some stuff. I'm gonna send it to you, and you guys can do a watch along in my honor.
Sweet.
So we can get you watching some cool old stuff, and then I'm sure Amanda will come up with some crazy old Japanese stuff to have you watch. We'll get you guys just watching some crazy old stuff to go like, what have I been missing?
You know what I've been wanting to do is I should send you if you find a couple of these ones, but I would love to hear you guys watch some of those DDT matches, like with the panda, the giant panda.
Ooh, I'm in for it.
That would be interesting to see what your take on those. That would be really cool. Like that, you know, some vintage Suzuki before he was. Well, I mean, he's always been kind of scary, but really before the murder
was crazy.
Easy.
Send it to me. I will
watch
it.
No, I gotta find them. Yeah, and there's always been one match that I have not watched it back. And Marsh, maybe one day if we're bored. You've got lots going on, but I would love to rewatch my personal my dream match because it did happen. I have not seen it since I saw it live.
All right, we'll look it up and maybe we'll do just a little watch.
Oh, I know where it is. That's
before.
Yeah,
but I got like other platform things I'm trying to experiment with, so maybe we do a watch along just so I can get some footage to experiment with some stuff,
totally.
And then we can maybe put it out on YouTube or something.
Yeah, that'd be a great little bonus. Yeah, to see me freak out and also see the infamous half and half shirt.
Nice.
Ooh.
All right. All right.
Yeah, and I'll even put out this too. I'll publish my documentary I kind of made. It was shitty, quality shitty, but it's a cute documentary.
This thing. You can find her at MsAmandaJayne with a Y. I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR the show. This has been episode 1 again, and we'll be back next week right here in the dive bar of the IWC. That's the last call.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch, or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.